Hold up. This is test. This is all test footage right now. We're just gonna see how this is.
No, fuck it. We're doing it live.
Oh.
Test.
Go. Make it work.
Right.
So you see the video?
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
It's because we weren't going live. Okay. All right. Troubleshooting out of the way. All right, cool, Josh. I'll see you in chat. All right, bye.
I was like, let me figure out how to do this chat thing. Dude.
I know, dude.
Just click chat on the side. It seems so easy, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I figured this was gonna happen, but all right, cool. You ready to start?
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Whenever
I guess
you're
just a very brief introduction of us, and I mean to the viewers, and then leave ending. Introduce yourself, and then we'll just go right into it, right?
Right. Okay.
Okay. Right.
So this will be the starting point. What is up, everybody?
What's going on? Hello.
Bro. Welcome.
Man.
Yeah. Welcome to Digital Quest, man. This is a special episode. We are having our first interview with somebody. His name is TheLeaveEnding, and we'll make better introductions here in a minute. But Mike, you want to take off? Introduce yourself.
Yeah, Mike. So you and I are both named Mike. I'm Mike Morningstar. I guess I'm kind of the lore guy around here. I love Silent Hill. If anyone is not already aware, survival horror is my shit. I love single player games. So when other Mike said like, "Hey, we got this guy. His name is TheLeaveEnding," I'm like, "Stop it! I already like him. So that's just a little bit about me.
All right. Yeah. So so you notice we're doing the interview right now. We are gonna. Since this is our first time, we're trying to work out a lot of kinks. So if there's a lot of shit that you see that, goes haywire here, that's the reason why we're trying to figure all this out in the same episode. So, but thanks for joining. If you're watching this right now, and my name is Guitar Mike 42, aka Mike. So let's introduce TheLeaveEnding. What's up, man?
What's up, dude? As he was saying, I'm
TheLeaveEnding.
variety streamer over on Twitch, twitch.com/TheLeaveEnding. We play all sorts of things, man. Right now we're doing like our horror month, like every other streamer in the world. Currently playing Visage.
Oh,
nice.
Do y'all like that? Like,
I like it. I mean, I love that Unreal realism, the ultra realism.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of Let's Plays of it. I really want to play, but I know I'm going to shit my pants because it's like a spiritual sequel to PT, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I feel like everybody has that same, like, oh, and then I'm playing it, and I'm like, ooh. Like, it's so, like, kind of just there. But, yeah, we recently played Dead Space Remake,
nice.
Silent Hill Downpour, the only Silent Hill I had never beaten, so finally scratched that out of the way.
Nice.
But, yeah, that's me. That's what I do lately.
Nice. So you're strictly a streamer.
Right now, yeah, man. Yeah, for the most part.
Okay. No, yeah. Just want people to kind of get to know like what kind of things you do, and then a little bit more about the genres that you play and why you enjoy them, and we'll dive pretty deep into that. But since your name, TheLeaveEnding, is a reference to Silent Hill, I'm guessing you're a huge fan.
Yeah. I might not be up to date on my lore and stuff. Mike over there kind of got me a little nervous. He's gonna call me out of my. He's gonna call me out of my.
Bro, I got Internet Edge. I got it right up. I'm ready to fact check you now.
Okay. Yeah.
No, all are welcome here. No. So how did you come up with the name? So obviously, if you got a name that's like, I know you can change names on Twitch, but still, it must mean something to you. So how did you come up with that name?
Yeah, man. Well, I guess. Long story version of it. I used to be No Sell the Finish. I used to play a bunch of like Gears of War and wrestling games. Like,
nice.
Those are two things that I loved at a time, right? And we took a long break. We bought a house. I basically like went away for a year. I didn't have anything set up, I was just this random guy who streamed occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I had like the X's. It was the cringe, like Xbox 360 gamer tag, kind of like
XXX.
X, no sell, X, the X. And I was like, dude, this is so hard for anyone to type. So I was like, what's something else that I love that I can kind of, it's still ominous enough and all that. And I was like, TheLeaveEnding, man.
I love it.
Silent Hill 2, my favorite game of all time. And
Yes. This is our guy, Mike.
Yeah. Pessimistically optimistic, I like to say about the remake coming out here in a few days now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I was like, you know what, the Leave Ending. I want to get back to like, I built a community based around Gears and wrestling. And I
Right.
kind of hated it. Like I was like, all right, like, and then Fortnite, like I was one of those people super late to Fortnite, so I was like, I don't want to be that guy. I want to be like horror main. I want to do like what I want to do.
Right.
So rebranding and kind of doing the Leave Ending made sense at the moment. So
You got any
Yeah.
love for the In Water ending, or is Leave ending like your favorite ending? Do you consider that one canon?
yeah, funny enough, man, we just played Enhanced Edition, like the PC
Oh, yeah.
version.
Yeah, and I think they
And,
just came out with their final update ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 2 days after the final update, I was like, all right, we're gonna go check it out, And I wanted to keep enough space in between remake and, playing the
Enhanced,
old one
yeah.
because I didn't want to be like when the new one comes out, like, oh, that's different, I hate it, like.
Yeah.
So yeah, funny enough, I just got In Water. Like I've seen all of the endings, obviously, but for the first time ever, I personally got In Water.
Right.
I don't like it.
Oh, no.
I'm like, I want Leave Ending, and that's it.
Yeah.
The dog one.
Did you aim? Sorry, I don't mean to hijack. I'll pass it over, Mike. But did you aim for the In Water ending? Because I know there's like very specific requirements. You kind of have to kind of go out of your way. So if you come across it naturally, it's like, all right,
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah, it was natural.
Nice.
I think one of the requirements is getting beat up a lot.
Yeah, and
And,
don't heal
the
up immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, the PC edition, or I'm very new to mouse and keyboard. I say that, and I've been doing it for like a few months now, but I couldn't get the controller to work, so I was getting manhandled. Like, I would literally move my mouse like 7 frames, and like my arms started hurting, but James would not turn around, so like I was getting manhandled. So In Water just kind of happened.
Shit, man, that
Wow.
DPI low or what?
Dude, I raised it up to I think my DPI goes up to like 3200, and it was still like, I don't know what was going on.
James is on 1 DPI.
Yeah, dude, he was not turning, dude. I was like, all right, I guess this is the way it works now, dude.
Jesus,
But yeah, that's what happened.
that's pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's cool. Yeah, never really. Well, let me see. I beat it once on the PS2, but I never got like through all the endings. I can't remember the one I got. It was probably the worst. Is that the worst one? Which was the worst one? Where
They're all pretty good. If you want
Okay,
to be canon,
well,
they will
yeah.
be canon.
When I say worst, I'm sorry, I'm butchering it, but like the negative ending, because like if you do all the right things, you get the good end, which is the Leave ending, right? But like I guess I got the In Water. I think that's the one.
Probably In Water.
There's also Maria.
Yeah.
Probably Maria.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? It might have been the Maria one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Maria means you learn nothing. Leave is like you've come to terms, you've accepted. In Water is like you refuse to accept, but you kind of made peace with what you did.
Yeah.
And then Rebirth you can only get in a subsequent playthrough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got Dog and Alien. Sorry, I'll shut the fuck up.
You're good.
So,
Gentlemen, I'll have you know.
yeah, I'm telling you, man, this dude, freaking lore central over here, man.
Yeah,
I'll just
that's-
mute myself. I'll just shut up.
No, well, that's
Alright,
good
okay.
because
Kick.
I'm like a lover of what I know. Like
Yeah.
I can watch a million videos and they'll go one ear out the other kind of thing. But like what I love, So I like hearing the lore stuff and all that, man.
Oh
I
yeah.
love it.
I just listened to a retrospective on YouTube, just to catch up again on like the story, because even though I've played it and I know what the story's about, like when Mike talks about it, I'm like, oh yeah, there's all like this whole like personification on everything. And
Yeah.
tell me how you felt at when you first played it and when you got to the hotel at the very end and everything started coming together. Like,
Yeah.
did that freaking like throw you off like hella bad? Because that one like freaking threw me for a curveball. I was like, what?
Yeah. Are you asking Mike or are you asking me?
No, I'm asking you,
Or
like,
both?
like,
Okay,
like
okay,
your
okay.
your opinion on like that part, that particular.
Yeah, you're the
piece.
guest, dude.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man, it was really cool because sorry, I answer everything in like longest form ever.
That's
So do
fine,
I. Go
man.
for it.
Yeah. Me and my brother, like, my brother never really sat down and like, backseat gamed with me like as a kid.
Oh, damn.
and this was what, I guess I was like 14 when the game came out, and yeah, my brother like sat there and watched me play like that entire game. He was like enthralled by it, which prior to that he was only just like, you know, Madden, NBA 2K.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
it like drove me to play the game because I was like, man, this is so cool that like I can experience this with my brother here, and he seems interested, and he's probably 9 years old at the time, and he's like, wait, what are all these like weird tones and shifts in the game? And yeah, I remember getting to old room 312, man, sitting down, and James starts watching that videotape, and
Oh my god.
yeah, like being like, holy,
Yeah.
like it's you go
Yeah.
back in time and mentally, and you kind of think about what games you were playing around that time, and the game stands. I mean, we're getting a remaster in a few days. That there's a reason, man. That game was super important with the vibes it brought, and
Oh yeah.
Right.
I see a lot of people are like the tape is what messed them up, man. What messed me up a lot is shortly after when you're running down the hallway, and she's
Oh
like,
my god.
yeah, she's like, I don't
Oh, dude.
want you here, like, you know,
Oh.
don't show up and all that. And I'm like, oh jeez, you know?
Oh my god.
Like I'm so curious how people are going. Granted, at this point in time we haven't played it, but I'm so curious if, one, I'm gonna like it, two, how people are going to respond to it. Like, is it going to create a talking piece where in 23 years from now we're now talking about the remaster? Are we still,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
it's now the 50-year anniversary and we're talking about part 2 again, you know, like
Yeah.
OG. And
Man.
but yeah, I know you were saying you're not, maybe like you played it a long time ago, but how did y'all feel about it? Like,
Well,
Go
I
for
kind
it.
of started, so you can go first, Mike.
yeah,
Oh my god. So I jumped on the ship pretty late. I played it. Well, really, I started playing it. I want to say about 5 years ago, and
Okay.
I was into like shooters, Call of Duty, zombies. I only heard of it because I was in a darker place in my life, and I wanted to feel something. Sorry, I'll make it short. I wanted to feel something, and people were like, "This is the game where you will feel. This is something that's going to mean something to you. It's going to mean something different to everyone, and it's going to take you to a dark place." And so I'm like, I want to do this. I want to go on this personal journey with James. And so I played the game. I got scared at many points, so I actually put it down several points until finally, I want to say about 3 years ago, I finally finished it. So I literally, on and off for 2 years, I would play it until finally I finished about 3 years ago. And I kind of looked at the endings because a lot of people were like, oh, this is the canon one, this is the canon one, this is the canon one. And just kind of, at this point, I already saw the, what do you call, where the story was going. And so I purposely picked In Water. I think that's the one that, it's not the best one in terms of like, oh, sunshine and rainbows, but I think thematically speaking, it's perfect. I think it's. Can we go into spoilers, Mike, or do we want to keep this vanilla?
I mean-
case?
I try to kind of like tippy toe.
Do we,
Yeah. I mean,
or just let people know, like, hey, for the next.
Hey,
honestly, we could probably be like, hey, disclaimer, we're about to say some spoilers, so if you want to skip, we can skip to the next part.
Like, mind you guys, this is the greatest horror game of all time. If you've not played it already.
Yeah, let's do this. Okay, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll do some post prod on this. So, like, yeah, disclaimer: there's going to be a lot of spoilers here. So,
yeah.
anything, just skip
Hold
to
on.
the next part. We'll have the stuff in the description, so you can skip through.
Here we go. Okay, 3,
All right.
2, 1. So, In Water. Oh my god, yeah! Oh my
awesome.
god. Oh my god, I need
Man.
one. Shit. Okay. Oh my god, I need one. So, turns out Mary is in the back seat of the trunk of the car the entire fucking time.
Yeah.
So he's looking for his dead wife. Meanwhile, she was there the entire time, right? And so it kind of just blows my mind. Okay, so really, you go in thinking he's looking for her, but really he's kind of looking for himself. He's looking for forgiveness of himself, and then finally he kind of finds it. And then the part that broke me was when you beat. Well, it depends on what ending you're going for, but Mary or Maria at the final boss fight, and then finally you get that final message to that final opportunity to speak with Mary from Beyond, and then you get the slow crawl, the letter, and then finally James.
I know what he's gonna say.
Yeah.
You're gonna do the James.
James,
You made me happy.
you made me so happy. And
I want to
then
get that. I want to get that tattooed somewhere, but it also seems like if you don't understand who James is, everybody's
Yeah.
gonna be like, "Oh, well, okay."
they're like, bro, you swing that
Yeah.
way. So you got that. So you can tell she's like, you know what? You're beating yourself up, but in the end, I understand why you did it, and I love you. I forgive you. But he can't forgive himself. That's the whole reason why he's there, right? So he gets in the car, vroom, 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 and then drives him and the corpse of his dead wife into Lake Toluca.
Mhm.
It goes silent. And then you got the banger Angels Thanatos. It's like a hard rock like song that's going in the background.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's perfect. It's discordance. It's chaos. That's exactly. Oh my god. So that has stuck with me this entire time, and I've been talking a lot. So that's why I love it. It's perfect for me. That's just perfect. The game
Yeah.
and that ending. You know.
Do you mind if I riff off that?
Please, dude.
Yeah, man. So I love hearing people's like appreciation for the game because the way he's saying it's perfect. When I recently beat it, I felt like I was missing something because I always prefer the leave ending. And same thing, man. You know, as you get older, you go through more experiences in life, you know, and sadness, and you take death a different way than when you were young. And same, I went through a really dark time in my life where, you know, depression kind of started taking over, and you know, not to get too chummy or anything, but like, it got bad, you know, and I feel like going back and playing that game was like, holy crap, I wasn't ready for this because there's a lot of times where I felt like a burden. I felt like I just didn't want to be here, you know, and I was Mary, you know, like, and it was just like, man, like this is so like so tough at times, and you know, I like to think I came out the other side maybe a bit of a better person, and a lot of people don't agree with, you know, James finding a quote unquote happy ending, but in the midst of all of it, there's that one line where Mary's like, if I could have it any other way, I would have adopted you, Laura. And you know, it's kind of believed at the end of Leave Ending, that's where they're walking away, like him and Laura, and I'm like, you know, maybe everybody has to go through something like this to come out better on the other side. And so the way you're saying In Water's perfect, man, like Leave Ending's perfect to me, and I love that.
That's what makes it great. For 2
different reasons, you know, like
yeah, and you know what, yours is right, if not more right than mine. It's everyone comes out of Silent Hill. James, you and I, all of us come out of it different. That's why I will not shut up about Silent Hill. I love it.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is that when I was playing those games, because my favorite's one. I love the original one, and
Heck yeah.
For the reasons of, because at the time when it came out and whenever I just I relate to a lot with it because of the timing, more of the timing. Not saying I don't like 2, like 2 is amazing, but when I was playing through these games, I just never thought anything about the story. I just played through it and I'm like, oh, I'm fucking killing monsters and shit, you know, and then it took me, let's see, one of our friends actually opened my eyes on it, and she was like, hey, so you know, this everything kind of has like a meaning to why things are happening. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Like, I thought it was just people just stumbling into this town and fighting monsters to get to the end, and that's it. And like, I never thought of like the reason why Silent Hill was doing the things that it was doing until like maybe 6 years ago. And I'm like, fuck, are you serious? Like, I've been missing the fucking concept this whole time. Like, dude. And then I started going back to him, and I'm like, holy shit. And it even makes it makes it a better experience for myself, because I now really realize like what's going on. I'm like, oh shit, like, you know, the James was going through his shit because of his demons, and then in part 1 when Harry was going through his shit, it was all because of all these things in his life that was happening. I'm like, wow, that's like, that's awesome storytelling. I love shit like that, where they kind of subliminally keep it in the background until you put it together in your own like ideas and stuff.
Yeah.
I love that you were like, I just fighted these monsters and shit. And I'm like, one of my favorite lines, and it's not nearly my favorite game. Like, I don't have the adoration for part 3 as a lot of people do. But one of my favorite lines in Silent Hill is they look like monsters to you.
Oh
and
my
Heather's
god.
like, what?
Oh.
And then like he's like, I'm just playing, you know. But it's like,
But
the
was
fact
he?
that you were like, I'm just fighting monsters, and I'm like, man, that's one of my favorite lines in like maybe all of Silent Hill. But I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, freaking Part 4 scared the shit out of me when I started playing that one. Oh my god! Like that game itself was pretty hard because you have different elements of the monsters and stuff, but like,
Yeah.
dude, just locked in a freaking apartment. I don't know if it's like claustrophobia started setting in. I'm like, what the fuck? I can't get out. You know, like, and that shit was creepy. Especially those monsters, was the baby looking ones.
The
that
little.
fuck,
Oh
dude.
my god.
Oh,
Or the twin head, whatever the
Yeah,
twin
that
head.
Yeah.
Oh my
dude.
god.
you just
Be
hear
all
them coming.
dorky and like I remember being all dorky, like trying to do the stance and all that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Probably why I got beat up a lot in school, but I'm like sitting there like trying to do the little stance and all that. Funny
Yeah.
enough, man, we just went on a trip to out of town to go watch like a wrestling event, and Void's my wife. I'm probably gonna say Void a lot. She comes to the car with like our room key, and she kind of like just hands it to me, and I'm like, "Did you notice this?" She's like, "What?" It's like room 302 where.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
And I was like, "No."
You start seeing chains. No.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
Room 302. Correct me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong, but I think Visage has a. I think it has like
Easter egg for
has
it.
a little Easter egg. Yeah.
I haven't quite got there yet, but I obviously whenever something like that happens, I kind of like, search it out.
Yeah.
I haven't got there yet, but we just played Downpour the other day, and Downpour
Oh, yeah.
also has like a little room about it. It's
Yeah.
the best 10 seconds in that game, though, unfortunately.
Oh, that's what I was going to fix to ask you. Just what did you think about that? And I guess in the bigger scheme of things, I guess, do any of the Western-made Silent Hill games kind of match up in your opinion to any of the like Team Silent games? You know?
Okay. Yeah, Downpour is one of those games where like it's so easy to get lost because it's in that era of like everything's brown or everything's gray
Yes.
video game
Yeah.
design,
Yeah.
and that map and like it doesn't do the traditional Silent Hill thing where like you check a door and it's like that door didn't open, so we're gonna like squiggle a little red line on it. It doesn't do that, and there's so many like side alleyways and all that you can go through to where like if you're not pixel perfect at a certain time, you're just gonna completely miss this alleyway. And so those parts were annoying as shit. But when you finally get into like a more closed, confined Silent Hill, like what you expect from Silent Hill, it actually doesn't get terrible. Like I've played worse, but it's definitely. I think Downpour is my least favorite of the entire franchise.
Have you tried Book of Memories?
All right, I
was gonna be Book of Memories is like hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Book of
might
Memories
even
is
say I like
excuse
Book
me.
of Memories a bit more. That's the sad part.
Oh no.
Hey, at least it's different, man.
Yeah.
Oh
But,
my god. That's true.
But it's rough. Did y'all play that Downpour?
Yeah, I specifically remember I was at I was at your I mean, consider you married now, your cousin's house.
Yeah.
And so we were playing on the PS3 there, and I was like, we were all hyped up for it because I was like, yeah, new Silent Hill game. It was after Homecoming, right? That was the one before it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So myself, I enjoyed Homecoming. I know that's a lot of debate on that, but
I really like Homecoming.
Get him out of here. No.
I really like Homecoming. It's Spirit Halloween Silent Hill, man. Like there's really no rhyme or reason to some of it. It's just kind of like we're just gonna throw shit out there and see what happens.
fuck
But
it.
yeah.
I like it enough.
But yeah, Downpour was it was an interesting. I can't remember the story too much. I just remember you're an inmate, right? Like, and you crash in the bus, and then you're like now
Correct.
in Silent Hill and
Correct.
stuff. I know that there was that one monster that was always chasing you. That
The boogeyman.
that white monster, right? That's the one.
Oh, it's the guy in the trench coat.
Oh,
with
are
the
you
gas
talking about
mask.
like the silly
forgot.
like bat things in the cave?
Oh shit! No, you're right. Yeah. It was like a.
Hold up, we got the share screen function. Let me see if I can
Yeah. I forgot. Yeah. There was that thing.
The white things, I think you're talking about either the bat things in the cave or
Those are like the normal monsters, right?
yeah, they're just like normal like
Oh,
goons,
okay.
but they're so hard. They're like the hardest enemy
Yeah,
in gaming
dude.
history.
Fucking.
It's
dude.
literally like an Elden Ring boss fight every time you see one. Dude. Like it's
Yeah.
horrible. Like But the best part of Downpour, dude, is legit the first 14 seconds of the game. You just stay at the menu, and randomly, for no reason at all, a Korn song comes on.
Oh
And
shit!
Jonathan Davis just comes on like, "We're gonna do a downpour," and it's just
Oh,
like, what the
you're
hell
right.
is this?
That's the name
Oh
of
my
the show.
god!
Was it this one, Mike?
Yeah,
This one
that.
right here?
Oh, I totally forgot about that dude. Yes,
Yeah, Boogeyman.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah. Silent
Oh,
Hill 2
shit.
gave us Pyramid Head, and Downpour gave us that dork.
that guy.
Yeah, because people they called out Konami on their shit with Homecoming for bringing in Pyramid Head, so they're like, okay, I guess we'll bring you Pyramid Head Light, you know.
Yeah.
Instead of a big sword, he has a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first saw that scene in the Homecoming where he split his dad in half with he just came out of nowhere, fucking cut his dad in half. Remember that with the Pyramid Head?
Yeah.
That was the first appearance he made in the game, I believe. And because all you see is just the big old fucking sword going through, and it's like split him in
Yeah.
half. I'm like, oh my god, it's fucking dirty.
My
But
God.
yeah. The story, I kind of enjoyed it on the Homecoming because it told a story between like a brother and well, yeah, the brothers, and had that whole backstory with the dad as well. But the one fight that I did really enjoy that was pretty creepy was the blood doll, or it was pool of blood where there was like a doll there, and it kind of came out as like this fucked up
The
like
spider kind
yeah.
of thing. Yeah, okay, yeah,
spider.
that fight was kind of cool.
that was probably like one of the coolest part of the game. And then but yeah, other than that, like I enjoyed it. But
That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
To come
Yeah.
back around to like what you were saying about like the Western Silent Hills, it's kind of a hot take, dude, but I think
Give it to
Shattered
me.
Memories might be my second favorite Silent Hill.
Bro, you're the
Like,
one. Yeah.
I absolutely adore Shattered Memories, and I just watched a friend of mine who streams play it, and they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, like there's not even like it might be top 3, and I'm like, okay, like you're getting there, you know, like, and it's so funny because if you just remove the fact that like it's a kind of retelling of part 1,
mhm.
and
Yeah.
get over the fact that you don't fight things. It is amazing, dude. Like the things that game did that like you can see like even in the industry today, like the Dark Pictures anthology where they try to like read your mind.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like, oh, you did that because of this and all that.
Mhm.
Like dude, Shattered Memories was doing that a long time ago.
Yeah.
man. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's just like
You think you're being slick?
Yeah.
You know? Shattered Memories walk so you can run, motherfucker.
Right. But
Yeah.
that's something about Shattered Memories I absolutely adore. So I actually like Origins. I know
Mhm.
it doesn't do anything great, man. Like it's just kind of
We
the
exist.
same sort. Yeah, it's the Silent Hill like gameplay loop of like, all right, go pick up this to open that, to open this to open that. But it's so
Yeah.
compact, and it doesn't do anything super like offensive other than having the breakable weapons and stuff. So like.
Right.
I actually kind of like it, man. Travis is one of the cool, like, he's one of
Yeah.
the good guys, I think, you know.
Right.
There's been a lot of talk online that he's like a serial killer and stuff, which I'm like, let him be one of the good guys in Silent Hill, man.
Dude,
Yeah.
Travis was fixing to be the next big thing in Silent Hill because I remember you had the first movie that came out, and then the second one. At the very end of the second one, guess who picks up? Well, spoilers for the end of
Spoilers
Revelations.
for the
but
movie.
no,
Yeah, the
but
movie.
no one saw that shit. So spoilers for the movie. That movie fucking sucked. But anyway, I'm glad they're making a remake of the second one. Anyway,
Wait, what?
At the
They're
very
making a
end-
remake of the second one?
yeah,
They're
it's
doing
called
a
Return to
movie
Silent
version
Hill.
of part
shit.
2.
But it's made by the director of the first movie, which is very
Oh,
good.
okay.
That's actually
you know what?
a
No,
very
I
good one.
subconsciously remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at the very end of Revelations, guess who picks up Heather and I guess her kind of pseudo boyfriend, the guy who plays Jon Snow in Game of Thrones, Travis.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, he's in Origin. So it's like, are they gonna do something with this guy? And then they just never did anything.
And then absolutely nothing, yeah.
And I think he's also in at the very end of Homecoming, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah, he's there.
Literally, it was gonna be the
Yeah,
Travis verse. You know,
Oh shit! Yeah, he was right.
he was literally the guy. You know, like,
He was him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was him.
Then we're gonna let him cook, dude, as the kids say. But
Yeah. He
was in a
they
di-
didn't do a damn thing.
Konami's like, bro, trust us, you're gonna like him. He's an Adonis. You just trust us. And then they didn't do shit with him. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Shattered Memories, I think around episode 4 or 5 of this podcast, Mike and I, outside of the podcast, we're like, "What are you playing? What are you playing?" Shattered Memories. I'm gonna play Shattered Memories. So we both said on the podcast, "Hey, let's play it, and then like 2 weeks from now, let's reconvene and let's talk about it." I personally was actually fixing to make it my number one game, which is blasphemous in retrospect.
Oh yeah.
It is wild, but
But
yeah, dude.
But I brought it down to 2 because the music is amazing. The gameplay, how it learns from you, is creepy, and I love it. The only part I didn't like, I actually deducted a lot of points, was the fact that there's no combat at all. I felt like it was dead by Shattered Memories. You can't fight. You can only run. You know.
Yeah.
I kept on thinking it was like a single player Dead by Daylight, so to speak.
It's funny because those segments where you're running are so bad.
They
Like,
are, dude. They
they're not
fucking
good.
are.
Yeah.
And it's funny like how high I still hold that game, despite like a third of that game being absolute garbage. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the conversation we were having on it, right?
Yeah,
Because I mean,
yeah.
like aside from the fighting, you know, like and the story was just great, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, just when you dive deep into it, I'm like, holy shit! Like even because I just beat it, I never played it like a long time ago, and so whenever I finished it, I'm like, oh my god, this is like not what I expected it to be. I thought it was gonna be like a total retelling of the exact same story in the part one, but they totally swapped it at at the end.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like that. That's freaking cool,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely interesting. It just kind of sucks when you open through a door and you see there's like a bright blue glow around the door, and you're like,
Oh yeah.
"Fuck, am I gonna have to run?"
Yeah, you already know.
God
You're all
damn
like,
it. Yeah, and then finally when you do get a gun, it's at the very end of the game. So it's like, oh, so you're just gonna give it to me for a cutscene? I can't keep it, really?
yeah.
But otherwise, it was beautiful.
That's
a
cool.
beautiful game.
Yeah, I mean, so Silent Hill's one of your favorite things, but like let's kind of take it back and I guess talk a little bit more about yourself. Like, I guess what kind of hobbies do you like to do? I mean, aside from like gaming, when you're not doing that.
Yeah, man, when I'm not gaming, I'm a huge basketball fan. Like, I love basketball. I know might not look like it, I'm not.
Yeah, you're the point guard.
Yeah, I'm playing small forward out there. Nah, I love basketball, man. Root for Dallas Mavericks. I'm one of those guys that buys like NBA 2K every year. Like,
Oh yeah.
that's my junk food. Like, on stream I'm playing all the important horror games, and off stream I'm playing NBA 2K. Like, I don't buy VC though. I don't buy digital currency. So I feel like I'm at least doing something good.
There you go.
But yeah, I really like wrestling. I watch a lot of wrestling and stuff. The only time I really ever go outside is like to barbecue, though, man.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
Yeah, I love learning how to barbecue. Like, we got this like smoker a few years back, and that's like the one thing. Like, you'll look at my YouTube history, and it's like, monitors, video games, like nerdy PC stuff, and then like the random like how to barbecue a brisket. So like those are kind of like my little hobbies, man. But other than that, I'm pretty as most of us are now. We kind of just like we settle in on our 3 or 4 things that we like, and that's just our personality and what we do.
Oh yeah, man.
I love music as well. Like, I call myself like a failed drummer. Like, I used to love playing drums, but it's been probably 20 years since I've actually taken it serious. But I still listen to music with that musician's ear, like where you judge things a lot harsher than you need to, because you're like, oh, that would have been over here or there,
Yeah.
But yeah, I adore me some music and stuff, man. Like, mostly metal prog stuff, but yeah, that's what I listen to.
Well, that's cool. I mean, that's a lot of good hobbies. I mean, like with basketball. So do you play basketball, or do you just kind of play the games?
This man asked me
What?
if I play, dude. Come on, dude. If I step out there, I'm sweating in like 13 seconds, dude.
Hey,
Come on.
man. I don't know.
I used to actually play quite a bit in like middle school, going to high school. Now, man, yeah, I'd imagine I'd probably pass away if I do 3 jump shots in a row, but if you leave me open if you leave me open at the 3, dude, I'm probably it's probably money, I'm probably hitting that. But yeah, I'm not moving around anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not coming off screens or anything.
Jeez.
Well, I just meant like just like shooting. Like I mean.
Oh yeah, I could
Just
still,
shoot.
I could still shoot at a decent number, you know. But that's
Yeah.
about it, man.
Oh, right on. Yeah. So that you mentioned NBA 2K, dude. The freaking graphics on those games are getting crazy. I saw. I don't know if it's just like advertisement, but like from the commercial, I saw like because we have Hulu, right? And so like on some of the ads, they'll show like the new 2K. I'm like,
Yeah.
is that a fucking game or is that a goddamn the actual like people? And they're doing
looks
pretty
pretty
good with all that. Yeah.
Yeah, this year is the first year that like the next gen version is on PC because the PCs had like the crappy like PS4 version still.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
literally like the oldest engine ever and all that. So this year's the first. I mean, I'm very new to like PC gaming as well. So this is the first year that I've played 2K on PC. Plus, it's now like the next gen version.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I'm trying to like learn how to mod and stuff, dude. And yeah, the graphics can get ridiculous. Like I'm already downloading like reshaders and all that, like extra authentic stadium quality lighting.
shit.
Like,
Damn.
how to make the
God.
arms look better and all that. Like yeah, it gets really nerdy, man. But yeah, those games are.
Man, what do
Again,
they? What, do they want you to have like a 4090 and shit to freaking play like max
Oh,
settings?
Nah, dude, I can play it like max at like 120 frames on like a 4070 Super.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty well optimized, man. A bunch of people play that game like casually, so I'd imagine they have to at least be like decently optimized, you know?
Yeah, yeah. All right, on. And then, so then you mentioned the. I was more of a Madden fan. Like I grew up. My brother played a lot of football. Well, I played football too,
Boo.
but I dropped that shit like really quick. I think the last one I played was the one with Palomalu and what's his face on it? The Cardinals on the cover. Was that Larry Fitzgerald?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. That dude, that was like the last one I fucking played. That's PS3 shit.
Yep. I actually think that was the last one I played because I'm a Steelers fan, and yeah, Troy Polamalu.
Yeah.
But man, I have that like hatred towards Madden built in because they like consume the NFL license. I was always a 2K kid.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh man, NFL 2K is way better. It's just that Madden's more popular, you know, like. So you're
Yeah.
having that like schoolyard argument with kids, you know, like, dude, y'all don't know shit. Like, you're playing Madden, you know, y'all are doing hit sticks. That's not real. And
Yeah.
but yeah, man, I wish NFL 2K made a return. Then maybe I could play some football games.
You know.
I still.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I still connect my 360 and play all pro football every once in a while, dude. Like the last NFL game they released. That's
All
the
right.
good stuff right there, dude.
Yeah, you remember NFL 2K? Was it 2K1? Was that the one Randy Moss on the cover? It was on the Dreamcast at the time. Dude, that one was like one of my all-time fave like football games. And then ESPN came out with Terrell Owens on it. I forgot what that one was, but
2K5.
yeah. See, like, those are fucking cool. And
Yeah.
I
so
can
good.
get you with you. Yeah.
They
Oh my
sold
God,
it
I'm
for
looking
$20
it up.
and
NFL 2K1 Dreamcast. Holy shit, you went deep. My God.
That's the yellow cover, right?
It looks kind of greenish, but September
Greenish.
7th,
Oh, it might be the
2000.
greenish one. Yeah. Because there was two.
Holy-
There was only two that came out, or three.
yeah, I think that was 2K, 2K1, and 2K2 were
Yeah.
Dreamcast. The
Oh my
2K3 was
God.
like Brian Urlacher on the Xbox.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's what I
Getting all
got.
nerdy.
There
that's
we
like-
go.
Look
that's
at
one of
that.
That's one of the goats right there.
Yeah. Jesus.
Man, look at those scores. Holy.
Oh,
Yeah, that's-
dude, yeah, it was.
I'm
fucking
not
good.
kidding. That's if you
It's
like
right up there
sports
with
games,
Silent
dude,
Hill.
those are the
Jesus.
goats.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lewis.
Yeah. Well, so you mentioned barbecuing too. I mean, that is actually a pretty good hobby because it teaches you a lot of things. And can you kind of explain a little bit more, like what you've been learning? Like, what have you been trying to smoke? Like brisket, or what else? What are the type of things are you trying to do?
Yeah, man. I smoked like a tiny little brisket the other day. Brisket's like $1 million a pound right now. But I bought
Yeah.
I bought like this little dorky one that was like the size of my hand, for like $10 just to practice and all that. But yeah, usually my go-to things are like I've kind of like I'm learning chicken. Like I kind of like have it perfected, and chicken's like $1 a pound, so you can just
Oh yeah.
you can
There's
feed
room
like
for
a
error.
million people with like $10. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'll do like some pulled pork, man. I know Star and her family will come over and we'll just eat pulled pork sometimes because that's pretty cheap as well. And yeah, man, it's a fun hobby. It's just unfortunate that it's like 1,000 degrees here where we live.
Fuck, dude.
Hey, well, thankfully it's starting to cool down.
Yeah. So I barbecued like this last weekend. Like, as long as you start it early enough, you're not gonna start sweating in 10 seconds. But I'm definitely looking forward to it getting colder, man. Because
Oh yeah. Yeah. So how you're smoking in a like a pit, or you're like doing a little small like with the lid and everything?
It's like a stand-up like bullet smoker, I guess. It's called
yeah.
It's
I know
called
what you're talking
the
about.
Weber Smoky Mountain.
Yeah. So it's the one that rises up, right? Like the smoke rises up.
Yeah. It's like a little tube kind of
Stack, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's still the same thing. You use charcoal, you use wood, and all that. It's not one of those set it and forget it with the little button kind of things, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I use, and just learning how to maintain fires and wood, and it gets kind of nerdy, dude. But
yeah, it gets pretty like scientific, right? Because like that's the fucking hardest part, dude. Because my father-in-law actually helped me. Just he was a like a project manager, and so he knows people that know how to build like pits, and so he got me one. And I was like, oh shit, okay, well we're doing this, and but like I had to learn. Yeah,
congrats, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, and but like trying to start the wood, dude, that itself is a fucking pain in the ass. You have to stack them a certain way, and then that becomes like fucking Boy Scout shit that I wish I would have learned a long time ago.
Yeah. The amount of YouTube videos I watched when initially like getting around to it was like the dumbest. Like how having to like focus on the vents and all that. It's like, this is ridiculous. But
you got to provide this much oxygen, like about 25% oxygen in, and then
keep it to gauge your temps and all that. It's wild, dude. Like if you ever want to learn something and get really nerdy, the same way like we do with music and stuff, man. Like barbecuing is the same way. Like there's a lot of things that like you can quote unquote cheat with now. Like you have the little temp gauges and set it and forget it. Like pellet grills and all that. But if you want to go old school, you know, like you can learn all that crap and figure it out.
Yeah,
it's fun though.
It's gonna be pretty messed up to say, but like whenever I could had a hard time starting the fires, I'm like, all these fucking California fires happening over here. I can't even start a goddamn fire in the damn pit,
bro.
Fucking dry ass wood, and I can't even start it here. Like I know it's pretty messed up, right?
He said he could post product this, right?
He's gonna
have to delete that one.
I gotta cut it out.
Fucking guy.
All that California money. Nope.
Yeah.
There goes half our audience.
God damn.
Oh shit, we just lost 2 people.
Oh no.
No, I'm just messing with you.
That's funny, though, dude.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah,
it's funny. I love it.
You mentioned music, so like you played drums?
Yeah, I'll say played. I haven't sat behind a kit in a while. I own like a little like Alesis Nitro Pro or something, you know, like. But I haven't. I guess to go into like another thing, I have for a while like I couldn't really stand up, dude. Like my feet were like not cooperating, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And I went to like a specialist, and I guess I was born with like a kind of rare like foot condition, to where like my bones in my feet actually point different ways.
Oh wow!
It's called Z feet.
Oh wow!
So as I get older, it gets worse, and so like drums kind of became like this. Like, I want to do it, but I'm not really capable of doing it anymore, at least for long periods of time. So I think mentally it kind of like broke me for a long time. So like going back to like the Silent Hill thing, you know, like, really, like feeling like you're not worth it, you know, like, well, it got taken from you in some way, you know. So well,
it was like a passion for you, right?
Oh yeah, dude,
it sounds like it was a passion for you.
Oh yeah, I loved drums, man. I was always trying to get better and stuff, you know. Like I definitely wanted to be like the musician guy, you know. But
yeah,
that was many years ago. I still love it. Again, I listen to music with paying super close attention to drums. I watch drummers on Drumeo on YouTube and all that. You know,
yeah.
I still adore it, man. But yeah, I'll say played at drums.
Yeah, man, I can only imagine, dude, how it must be like just realizing that that part of you is going to be a lot more difficult as you grow through time. You know, like that
Yeah.
that shit sucks, dude.
Yeah, there's still a part of me that like definitely wants to like. I mean, even now, like I'll write like little things to like maybe I can write an intro to my like stream stuff and all that. You know, I'm so dumb when it comes to computer stuff and all that. Like I need someone to like sit here and like this is how you do this, this is how you do
right,
that.
yeah.
You know, but yeah, I still like mentally play and all that. You know, like I have
Yeah,
all
yeah.
like the this is
Oh,
how
yeah,
I
that never
built this
leaves
and
you,
all
dude.
that. Yeah. It's so fun though, but.
Well, what kind of music do you listen to, and like who are your favorite like I guess artists or even types of genre of music that you listen to?
Yeah. Growing up, you know, it was all like, all right, new metal and stuff. You know, trying to learn drums and all that. Like, I was a big like, you know, Joey Jordison drummer guy, Lars Ulrich from Metallica. Of course, Joey's from Slipknot. But as I started playing, a lot of like the guitarists in my bands and stuff only new metal. Like, and eventually it gets kind of boring. Like, you can only do so much double bass before it becomes uninteresting. But I still love like Between the Buried and Me. I like a lot of like more proggy metal, I guess, dude. Between the Buried and Me, Slice the Cake, Ovid's Withering.
Slice the cake, dude.
Yeah, dude, Ovid's Withering. I always make the joke that every band I like breaks up really fast. So like I love like the Safety Fire. Man,
The Safety
Leprous.
Fire. I forgot about them. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to like. I love the Safety Fire, dude. I always like the band that's like 3 tiers below the really popular one. The band that opens up for the popular band. That's probably my band. Leprous, I really like. Even going old school, man. I still listen to like old Mudvayne, LD50s, like one of my favorite
dude.
albums ever.
Dude, Mudvayne, shit. They tore it up back in the day. I mean,
Yeah. I can only really listen to LD50, but that's still like one of my favorite albums.
never got into the shit. I can butcher it. The album with So Cold. Oh no, World So Cold, right?
End of All Things to Come.
End of
I
All
believe.
Things. That's the one. I was
Yeah, I can like I could have it on as background noise, but I'll never sit here and be like, yeah, you know, like
yeah.
it's a cool one, but I like love old Mushroomhead. Their new album wasn't bad.
Who in Mushroom Head? That was Joey's band, right? Or was that?
Mushroomhead was nah, there was no one from Slipknot in Mushroomhead.
I thought. Oh my god, I've been lied to this all the time.
Nah.
It was okay. Sorry, go ahead. Who?
No, yeah,
I know
it
who
was,
Mushroom Head it was, but I thought it was related to some of the members in the band. But that's
No,
probably
the other Slipknot bands were like what Murder Dolls and
that one, Murder
Stone
Dolls.
Sour and
Yeah.
but Mushroomhead was like the band that had Mass that also did the same kind of gimmick, but I guess they've been around a lot longer, so there's that like battle between Mushroomhead and Slipknot fans. But yeah, I still love Mushroomhead, man. They released a new album that has like 3 awful, cringy songs, but like absolutely horrible. But and I love them still.
That's cool. So what do you think about like?
looking up all this stuff and don't mind this?
It's all like,
Like I'm
Notes,
getting an
notes,
education
dude.
right now.
Right.
I am.
what do you think of Sleep Token?
Oh man, I have like a love-hate relationship for them. Like I absolutely adore like I'll be on the high side. I'll say like 10 songs. And then there's like the rest of them I'm like I feel kind of like they're just a little bit too cringy sometimes. But
Like some of their old stuff or like their newer stuff?
even the newer stuff, man, like there's just times where like I'm just kind of embarrassed that like I'm listening to it.
Holy shit! These outfits go hard.
What are you looking at?
Oh my god, Sleep
Is that
Token.
Mushroom Head?
Is
Another Sleep Token ones.
Oh, Sleep Token. Oh yeah.
Old vessel there, dude. Supposedly, like women go crazy for this guy.
Oh, dude, yeah, like they're yeah. I know a lot of people. So Mike, the band is focused around this lore of like the sleep god. That's why they're called Sleep Token. So all their member names are like 1, 2. They're like numbers, right?
Oh, vessel.
Vessel is
two.
yeah, Vessel is right.
Oh my
I
god. Okay,
don't know
wow.
any of the other ones. I just know them.
It's like Vessel, then 2, 3, 4. I don't know, something like
Yeah.
that.
Their drummer
yeah.
goes crazy though. Their drummer goes crazy.
Dude, fucking drummer's
He's
sick.
nasty with it.
Oh my god, I saw that Dromio video when he did the summoning. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, this is better than the fucking original.
Yeah, he goes crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the aesthetic! I'm just looking at all the the logos and shit. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, they're like the hot band right now. Like everybody's
Yeah,
all
they
over
really
them.
are.
Yeah.
I got
For all, I
home
mean,
too.
for all the right reasons, they're really good. They're actually really like all good musicians.
Oh
I
no,
give them
yeah,
that.
they're one of those. You know, like when bands get really popular, and you're just like, man, I don't know why this happened to them.
Yeah.
Sleep Token's one of the few that I'm like, okay, I get it. You know, like they're fun. Like
See,
they're a
this shit
fun
reminds
little
me of the
band.
Brethren Moon from Dead Space.
Yeah. Well, they're. Oh, well, yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
pretty sick.
Yeah. They have like a very Lovecraftian vibe.
What's this?
Yeah.
One? This one's what Take
I'm
You Back
loving
to
it.
Eden.
Yeah, dude.
I'm loving this.
Man, that's been like one of my top albums of this past year. Aside from Ice Nine Kills is the Silver Scream 2. And just because the Silver Scream 2 was like, dude, like the first one, I don't know if you've listened to them. Have you ever listened to them?
I've heard of them. I think Josh was trying to show me a few of their songs.
Yeah. So their first, so they've been around for a while. Like they used to sound really emo or like screamo or something, and then they finally got their groove on their first, the Silver Scream, which was like they just decided to cover all these like songs on like horror genres, horror movies basically. And the first one was okay. It was good, but it wasn't as catchy as like the second one. The second one came in, and it's like all these freaking shredtastic like solos, and like the drums were all together. And it was just everything syncopated on good pace.
Yeah,
And then I was like,
understood.
oh my god, what the fuck is this? And then so I've been stuck on those, and nothing really new has come out. I mean, I know Black Dahlia's new album just came out, but that one's it's okay.
Yeah. Do you listen to anything that's that's not like metal wise? Like, because like
Yeah.
awkwardly, man. Like I always go to metal, but when I look at like my playlists and stuff, I listen to a lot of like I know you used to like emo, screamo stuff. Like I love that. Like, but I like the more like toned down. Like I love like Law Dispute. I don't know if you ever heard of them. Or,
I've heard of them, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And, like even like Portugal the Man, who's like they've won Grammys and stuff. They were on like Taco Bell commercials. I love
What?
that kind of stuff. Yeah, like the yeah yeahs, you know, like
Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah.
like I love a lot of that kind of music actually now more than metal. But I think it's
Mhm.
because if I ever came back to writing, I know that I can't do like blast beats for 10 minutes anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I would maybe lean towards that style of writing, a lot more of the do a lot with less kind of style of musicianship. So I
Yeah.
think my ears lean to that because that's just kind of like I know where I could maybe like fit in now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I love a lot of that kind of music actually.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like, so I'm not very strict on like metal. It's basically whatever I feel like listening to. People try to, there are some people that ask me like, "What's your favorite band?" I'm like, "Fucking, I don't have a favorite band." It's like I just listen to whatever I like to at this time. So like most of the time, mainly like whenever I either in the garage doing shit, like I'll put on some Sleep Token just because it's background noise. But then since I grew up with my dad listening to all the oldies, right? He was the music guy, like had fucking shit from the 20s all the way up to like the current age, and so I was exposed to a lot of different things. So there are days where I'll just listen to orchestrated music. I'll listen to like one of your favorites, Mike says, what's his name? The one from your favorite composer, the well-known one. Is he German?
Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer. There you go.
Okay.
So like shit like that, and then I'll listen to Mozart every once in a while. But then I can go to like CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival. Dude, I fucking love me some CCR. They're so sick.
Are they still around?
No,
Creedence? No,
I think
just
John
like
Fogerty
Revival.
is still alive. Yeah, but
Yeah. I was gonna say okay.
shit, yeah, they're pretty old. And then some Journey, and then I'll listen to like 80s metal or 80s rock, and I just recently went back to Iron Maiden to listen back to them. I was like, oh man, dude, they were fucking good. Yeah, but
I always make fun of Iron Maiden because my wife is named after them. Like her middle name is
That's right.
Maiden,
yeah,
and I'm always like, dude, you couldn't be named after a band I don't like any less.
yeah,
Bro, no. Yeah, that's gonna go out in post production.
Yeah, no. She knows it. I remind her all the time, dude. I'm like, God, I hate Iron Maiden.
yeah. But yeah, I mean that's cool. Hold on, pull up my. Sorry, I had my notes here. Just if you see me, we're looking back over here. I'm like going between two devices. So I guess That's pretty cool. You have some pretty good hobbies, and I'm sure there's a lot more to you. I mean, like a lot of other things you like to do. I mean, I see that freaking Good Guys doll behind you. I mean, I see that.
Oh
you're,
yeah, add a little bit out of picture, but yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
that
I'm a
is
huge
probably
horror fan, man. Not just video games. Yeah.
yeah, that is like one of the best looking Good Guy dolls I have seen. Like almost like purely accurate. Because a lot of I don't know if you've seen all the other ones that come out. They look very like the TV show. Like it's not even close to the freaking original.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen a lot of them, man. Yeah, that one is supposedly like a 1-to-1 replica of the Good Guy doll from Part 2. It's like a Trick or Treat Studios, like one of those expensive ones, you know.
Yeah. That's the type of fucking one that I like that would freak me out if I had it, and if I wake up in the middle of the night just going, oh fuck.
Oh yeah, dude, I like things don't really scare me as much anymore, but yeah, when I first got him, I had to like close the room that he was in because I was like, I still don't trust it, you know, like
just to be sure.
Yeah, let me get comfortable with it, you know.
Jesus Christ.
I would stay home by myself, so I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna risk it, you know. Let's close the door a little bit. If the door's open when I wake up, all right, we know we're fucked, you know.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring something up really quick. I want to be respectful to your time because I know you stream, you know, later on. You're going to stream later on tonight, but is it fine if we go a little bit over an hour? And
yeah, we're good, man. I'm
okay.
chilling.
Just wanted to make sure.
Y'all vibe, man. I can vibe off of y'all as long as I understand what y'all are talking about.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been good so far. I mean, very good interview, and I honestly coming into this, I was like, fuck, how am I gonna be a good interviewer and make sure I ask the right questions? But like, it's fucking flowing, dude. Like, it's a good talk.
Yeah, we're cool.
So back on the horror, because I'm just looking around in your room, and that poster right behind you with the guy in the rabbit suit,
the murder house.
Yeah, can you explain what that is? Because I might know what it is, but I want us to be on the same page with it. So is it a game?
Yeah, Murder House is a game. So like I was saying earlier, man, I'm so new to like PC gaming that last year when I got like a gaming laptop was one of like I kind of started falling out of love of gaming. Like there just wasn't anything that was like super talking to me or anything.
Yeah.
And I had always been a console player, and I got this gaming laptop, and I went through like the forums, like, hey, like what are cool like indie horror games? And if you look up for more than a minute or two, you're gonna eventually come around to some Puppet Combo, which is
yeah,
Josh put us onto that.
Like they're like I guess a distributor, developer, or whatever. And they made a bunch of like these like PS1 style horror games. And maybe it's because it was the first one, I just decided to click that one. I absolutely love that game. It's maybe an hour or two long, but it's essentially about this this group of people that go to this house, like trying to like get a story about these missing kids. And you know, kind of turns out that this guy in a rabbit suit is just killing everything and everyone that shows up. And of course, you know, everything kind of unravels, Jesus Christ, like unwraps.
Unravel.
It kind of looks like It kind of looks like a Resident Evil, like tank controls and what have you. PS1
oh yeah,
graphics.
they're very much like they're making short, like bite-sized PS1 horror games. And,
yeah, I remember running into Puppet Combo on itch.io, and I know that they're becoming kind of like it's kind of like the Blumhouse of like movies. They're like,
oh yeah, they're definitely like they're kind of holding the flag for the PSX Renaissance kind of thing, man. And most of them are really good, but again,
it's
man,
so
maybe
crazy. With the PS1 style, there's just something so inherently dark and creepy about it that it's like if you make a cheap game on itch.io, PS1 graphics, or one of those D-makes, as you call them, I'm going to play it.
Oh, yeah. If you've never played the Puppet Combo games, man, I think you can sign up to their Patreon and pay like $5 and download everything they've ever released. And,
Bet.
yeah,
Here,
and
there we go.
they are just super fun. And, like, last October, I played through, like, all of them on stream. And, like, it was the first time in a long time where I just had a smile on my face while playing video games again. And I was like, holy shit, dude, like this just takes me back to like the old style of games. You know, there's no DLC, there's no extra add-ons, it's not competitive, you know, it's just super fun. And
Yeah, what you see is what you get. It's the entire experience, and
Yeah.
you can tell it's made with love. I was
Yeah.
telling Mike, kind of the magic of like the first Silent Hill was that a lot of the mechanics, the fog, and all that stuff, it all existed because of the limitations at the time. And so when you got all these small little devs like making stuff with PS1 graphics, it's like there's just so much ingenuity, right? Because there's only so much you can do with the graphics and the engine, the technology, but from it there's a lot of ingenuity. It's just so beautiful when I see stuff like this.
Oh no, yeah,
My God.
and I think going back to the harkening of fear with like, scaring you with less. Like I think it leaves a lot to the mind. Like
Yeah.
like it's not you're not looking at 4K ray tracing textures now. You're looking at like just something that you kind of can't tell what it is, and it lets your mind play with it. And
Yeah.
the mind's stronger than the eye. And it's such a beautiful like, man, this is just badass. And
Yeah.
I can't preach for those games enough, but they are like the poster boys for those style of games now. And anytime they
Yeah.
announce a new one, like they're always super fun, and you can play them in an afternoon. That's what's cool.
Oh yeah,
pretty cool.
I started seeing these because I follow a guy. I don't know if you ever seen him on YouTube, but his name's Hollow, and
I've heard of him.
he plays a lot of horror games. And so whenever I jump into, he's been playing a lot of these indie games recently, and so those like D-makes, the ones that look like PS1 games. I think that's where I first saw the Murder House because he was playing it, and then because I noticed that whenever when I went to your house that one time, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that, and but yeah, I never knew the studio, and so that's why I was like, man, dude, like I'm starting to see a lot more of these D-makes, and they actually look a lot better, not graphically wise, but like they just look more appealing to play than like these AAA games. Because I was telling Mike, I'm like, dude, I'm just getting so burnt out on this like AAA gaming, and that's why
Same.
we're kind of steering towards like going to indie devs, because we want it, for one, we want to shed some light, give them some proper spotlights on them, and then play their games. And because they do different takes on like the we can go into one of the games that we're playing, but like some of the mechanics, even though it feels like Resident Evil per se, and a mix of Silent Hill, then see, I like that kind of stuff. I love games that are pretty straightforward, and even they call them tanky, but like it feels nice,
I love tank controls.
There's
Yeah.
something so artful about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of one of the things that we're really interested in. But one thing I wanted to ask you is like, so you mentioned earlier that you have a lot of I wouldn't say you have an opinion on like the type of games that you play, and so what to you makes like a good game? Like in your perspective, if you had to make a game, what would make something that what would be a good game to you, I guess?
That's a very open-ended question. What makes a good game? I think at its core, it has to do something that resonates, or like that makes you. I'm very much like a person of like, does it talk to me? Does it resonate with me? Does it make me feel like a kid again? Does it just have a charm to it? Like, we went on and on about Silent Hill 2, but one of my second favorite game ever is Shenmue, which is an old Dreamcast game, kind of open world. And I funny enough, I was talking about this on stream the other day because we kind of did like a little like, well, what other games do you like, And I think a game, maybe not necessarily a good game. I'll take the question another way. A game that resonates, or like the game that is remembered. And Shenmue was one of those. Like, for instance, I explained the situation where you had a job in Shenmue. Like, you go and you work for like 3 hours. You're on this stupid little like a crane or whatever, and you're moving boxes, and you have to move a certain number of boxes in like 3 hours to get paid. And I remember like stressing out because I wasn't good at the driving and all that, and being like, oh man, like the boss would get mad at you, like there'd
I'm
be
gonna
a
get
cutscene.
fired.
Yeah, like the boss would come in and be like, you didn't do good today, and like I didn't want him to be mad at me, so I'm like stressing out about moving boxes and stuff. And in correlation to that, like, you also had to get home on time because you're still like an 18-year-old kid, and your mom's gonna yell at you, and the VMU would start beeping.
Oh, it's right.
Like when it was like 9 o'clock, and like you had to like haul ass home. If not, your mom would like, you wouldn't get your allowance. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my
and
God.
because you didn't get allowance, you couldn't go to the corner store and buy milk for the little cat that you take care of around the block. and you wouldn't be able to get like these little you put like the quarter machines. You could win like Sonic toys, and
Oh yeah.
those would then be in your room. Like you could go up, you could go in your room and like look at them and all that, and like little stuff like that, man. Like just didn't exist back then. So I was like, I think a game that makes you like, that just takes you by surprise, that has little mechanics where you're like, holy shit, like this is so cool. Like that game, like you can see a phone number on a billboard, and I remember looking for someone and being like, how do you get a hold of them? Like, I'd go to the shop and they're like, he's not here today, and I'd be like, oh god, and I'd be like, wait, can I use the payphone and call him? And like having that be like the first time. This is pre GTA 3. This is like,
Yeah.
like the first open world, and like, calling the number and he's like, hello, and I'm like, oh my god, shut up. Like this is way too cool. Like it's the Silent Hill thing, man, where it's like Silent Hill did that first time where I felt like I witnessed a story that was like, holy shit, man, this is bigger than video games right now. Like I felt like Shenmue did that for like game design and just history, and like so maybe like not what makes it
little ingenuities, little like things that make it stand out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe not what makes the game good, but what the thing that makes you smile, the thing that makes you happy, like. So I don't know. What makes the game good is such an open-ended question.
Yeah, I know it's subjective to the person. I mean, honestly, but just want to see like what you thought, because we've had offline conversations on a lot of things, and I've always been curious to ask that question. Is like, well, what do you think makes a really good game, or like so a memorable experience, right? Something that you can relate to. I mean, I agree, dude. Like, you mentioned the VMU, dude. Oh man, like I miss that, dude. The Dreamcast was such a gem, but it just was not successful, But did you ever play the Dreamcast, Mike?
No. First system was a PS1. Yeah.
So it was a Sega Dreamcast, and like the unique thing they had was like in the controller that they had this like little memory card that you put in, but the memory card was like a little Game Boy. And every game that you would play would sync up with that VMU, and it would like give you something. It would either show you like, it's like a Tamagotchi. It would show you some shit on there, or like with Power Stone, you would be able to pull it out and then use it as like a game and shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
So
like
why
that's
the
like,
hell, why did that fail?
It was in the middle of the PS1 and PS2, man. Like the PS1 had like solidified Sony's name, and then the PS2 took over gaming. Yeah, it was in the middle of that, and it was just like. It was
bad timing.
Yeah, but they created, so like they started so we were talking earlier, like creating the first footsteps for like modern games, right? They did that for internet. Like they're the ones that brought the internet capabilities of like dial-up, right? Dial-up to freaking play online with people, and then PS2 came out with theirs to like, and they refurbished that shit, and that's why it failed, because the PS2 was just like, so dude, it was, I think they established that as the most the best-selling console of all time, right?
I believe so.
Or unless the Switch just took over, I don't know.
Like...
but
I think it's the PS2.
PS2 days were crazy, dude. That was a good time. Good time.
It was like so much more advanced than the PS1, but the PS2 was just right around the corner, so it was like that didn't last very long at all. Like it was just like it was a shame, but it's such a fun console.
Yeah, it's sad. And there were actually a good handful of games there, but yeah, not to go too deep on that rabbit hole, but yeah, man, I mean, making a good game like that, and that's what like you were mentioning, the graphics on horror games, like there's something just like unique with like seeing something not in like PT fashion, right? Like something that's ultra realism. Sure, it's cool, of the capabilities that we have now, but like it kind of got it's overrated now. Like you see, like all these games like try to be ultra realistic, and it's like. It just feels like more of like feels like you're watching a fucking Avengers movie. Like you're like everything is so cinematic now. It's like they took away from like all the just simplistic nature of like old, like the way games used to be. Yeah. And I never had a chance to play Shenmue though. I've heard so many good things about that one, but all the stuff that you were saying right now, like it's totally catching me off guard, because I thought it was a game about something else. Like there was a mainline plot to where like I guess something tragic happened, and then you kind of go through all that and you fight people, but you're talking about all these
your dad gets killed and you're looking for like a phoenix mirror, like a crest of your family, like at the core of it. That's that, but it's kind of like the Yakuza games, like where you're you're doing things to like further this side of your story as well. You know, like so you're just a kid at heart, man. But yeah, it's I guess to turn it around, let me be the interviewer for a second, dude. What makes a good game to you, dude? Or either one of you?
Mike, you can go first. I think you can. Yeah, mine was pretty long.
I've made it. I think I've made it pretty. I think I've made it. Other Mike knows this. It's for me. It's always about the story. I am very much in line with you guys when it comes to like graphics today. It's like, okay, so you can ray trace a piece of turd. Okay, great. You still have a piece of turd. It's not a great game just by default, right? There's got to be heart. There's got to be soul. There's got to be, continuity. My job outside of this is an attorney, and I realize that people really understand things and they give a shit about cases, situations, tragic incidents if there's a beginning, middle, and end. So I naturally gravitate towards a good story. So you're definitely going to have some somewhat decent graphics, but if it's a PS1 style, I think that's its own art form. And if I ever do like an indie game or we're part of making a game, I would opt for like PS1 graphics. But the lore, I love lore. I love showing, not telling. Silent Hill does a great job of this. Another form of that we're seeing as of late are like the Soulsborne games, Bloodborne, Elden Ring. There's just so much. You are on the surface of the story, and there's so much beneath the surface that you can only whittle away at by looking at the item descriptions, talking to the people, the characters, and you're like, what the hell are you talking about? But when you begin to piece it all together, it forms this big, whole, cohesive thing. That's something that I would personally want to do if I ever made a game. Show and not tell. And for me, it's about the story. You got to have a good story.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's fair. And then, but the genre of gaming because we've talked about this offline a lot of times. Like you came up with a different generation of games, right? So. What was the console? I know it's a short interview question for you, Mike, but what consoles did you start playing games at or get into?
I started with the PS1. Yeah,
PS1.
I started with the PS1. PS2 were like my glory days, though. Like all the best games I've ever played, Silent Hill, were from the PS2. So I will always go back to PS2. The most recent indie game, Hollow Body, feels like it was made like 20 years too late. But that's exactly why I like it, because it feels like a PS2 game that we're only now beginning to capture and live now. So, PS2,
yeah, no, that's actually a good game too. But
I need to play that one. Yeah,
you gotta play it. Yeah,
it's on the old wish list.
Yeah,
no, it's super good. We're fixing. Hopefully, we sent out an invite to speak with. I think his name is Nathan. I would love to speak with him. Just what inspired him to make this PS2 era game, 20 years later.
Yeah.
It's great,
Yeah, but I guess for me, what would make a good game, if we're just talking about any game in general, I'm a big fan of subliminality, if that's a word. So like basically Silent Hill, like whenever they throw shit in there for you to put together yourself, even whenever it's like a canon story and like a straight storyline, they just put it in little nuggets here and there for you to piece together. I like shit like that. And I grew up with the first console I ever got or played was an NES, and then I got into a Sega Genesis. So I grew up in that era, and I just remember playing The Legend of Zelda, the first one, and that one did not tell you shit. Like, like you have to find out all these different pathways on your own and hidden fucking doorways and shit. And my dad beat that, like on his own. And I just remember him telling me, I'm like, how did you do this without no strategy guides and stuff? And dude, I'm still baffled to this day, like how that shit happened. But, so I like shit like that where they require you to think. I'm a big puzzler guy too. I like playing the Professor Layton games on the 3D, the DS, like that. You just solve puzzles all day, and so something that just requires me to put more extra effort into things. And honestly, like what Mike was saying, like having a good story. One of my favorite games was like Soul Reaver, the Legacy of Kain series. Dude,
are you hyped for that remaster, dude?
Oh, dude, I was literally I was talking to Mike at that time, and when we were watching the stream, I was like, dude, there's one game that I want remade. They're talking about all these games, but fucking Legacy of Kain, where's Legacy of Kain? And then boom, comes up. I'm like,
yeah,
thank you.
Lo and behold,
like, thank you. So I'm curious to see how that one's gonna turn out. But yeah, I mean, like I PS1 era was probably, man, it's a hard contender, dude. Like SNES and PS1 era were like my ultimate favorite eras. And because on PS1 there's just so many fucking good games, like so many. I mean, obviously PS2 has a lot more, but like I was more relatable to like Parasite Eve, Resident Evil. You had Dino Crisis, and so like all those survival horror games, like that's what I always played.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I think a good story, and then just like the little nuggets you were talking about in Shenmue, like just little shit like that you're acting as a worker, and then you see shit on billboards, and you can actually do shit with that with like phones, and like that's cool. But everything is so linear nowadays, it's really hard to like relate to a lot of these new games. And that's why I said like everything's more cinematic now. Everybody wants to turn it into a movie, and it's like, okay, I get it. Like at one point it was cool, but now it's like just overblown, and I think they're missing the concept on a lot of these games. And that's why I'm pretty excited to go back to like, talking to indie people, and hopefully we can get a lot of those people on, because like you meet people like Murder House, the people that made that game, and get to know them, and like why are they demaking these games? Because do they feel the same way we do, or is there something, that they see that we don't? That's the interesting thing.
I think a lot of it is also the way the industry is, where everything's costing so much money right now, that it's almost safer to make this game in a year and sell it for $4.99 on Steam, as opposed to like I guess for example, like Ubisoft literally just said gamers were the problem, that Star Wars Outlaws didn't sell.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a giant IP with, millions and millions of people that care about Star Wars, and they have the audacity to be like, well, it didn't sell because you don't like it, and it's like, dude, just shut up, But I think the industry, like, they just delayed Assassin's Creed Shadows and all that. I think the industry is so, what's the next thing that we can charge you for over and over and over again? And, we're leaning towards the Fortnite model of everything, and I think that's why a lot of these people are like, what, it's something we love at heart as well, but it's also safer, I think. Like, it's almost safer to be a two-man developer team right now than it is to be Concord, PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so,
bro, too soon. Oh, my God. Yeah, it's just so boilerplate now. It's just so soulless. I mean, case in point, Season 3 of Suicide Squad came out. I think there's only a peak of 230 people playing right now. No one wants to play this shit. No one wants the battle passes. No one wants these looter shooters. Take us back to the good old days. Give us something with substance, Now, I don't want to go ahead and say, these PS1 demakes and these PS2 kind of like new games are like the answer, but it's certainly in the better direction compared to like where the industry as a whole is going towards right now. Like when Assassin's Creed Shadows was delayed, I'm like, Ubisoft, good. I'm pretty sure they saw a ghost of Yotai and they got shook, but I'm like, good, because we all know the kind of shit that you're putting out, but and then they go ahead and then they blame shift, and like, it's really hard to put out great games when the fans are expecting ultimate games, and I'm like, so it's our fault now. It's been, I mean, I totally understand from like an economic perspective, right? Like, so if you're a game developing company and you want to make money, then they're trying to find ways to make money, right? I mean, that's understandable, but like the model that's going on right now, the biggest one that I fucking hate is the early access shit. And I know you're playing Silent Hill 2 at eearly access, but
that's one of the few ones.
Yeah.
But like, it got a little quiet there.
On that one game, come on.
No, but like, dude, everybody's starting to do it now. It's like, I see that being, because like right when microtransactions started getting popular, you could tell like, oh, okay, now every game's going to have microtransactions. And then people are starting to talk about early access, and now everybody's having a gripe with it, because it's like, well, what kind of benefit do you get out of freaking early access? If anything, that kind of puts a hinder on like the people who are not going to be able to play it early because they don't want to buy a deluxe, and so now there's going to be spoilers. It's kind of like the spoiling movies kind of thing. And so I don't know, like the industry is just trying to find ways to make all this money, but in reality, like they're cutting a bunch of people, which is honestly, I think on a good note, it's a good thing because I have a feeling these people are going to go and branch off to make their own little mini development teams, where you'll see people like making Murder House. You know, these are those people that are coming out because they have that knowledge to do so, and they can make games at the pace that they want to make instead of deadlines that these high corporations are doing, and to be able to be happy with the games. Because I know a lot of these developers probably don't feel happy because they're making these AAA games because there's a lot of that corporate politics going on, right?
Right.
And so yeah, I don't want to beat down too much on that. But one thing, what was I going to mention? I just lost my train of thought. But yeah, I think
wrote your
going
little
back
manifesto, fuck the industry.
yeah,
And I'm like, do it, dude, do it.
yeah.
He's got the anarchy sign in the background already.
He's got the Guy Fawkes mask. Remember the 5th of November.
Yeah, I think I think going backward. Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like back in the day, you know, when the 64 and the PlayStation 1 were around, like nobody really. It wasn't like this big old thing like it is like with now with how companies are being ran, right? It was just gamers making games like because they love games. And that feeling of, you know, I think it was up to the 360 before it started going. When the PS4 came out and on that, I feel like that's when shit started going sideways. But when 360 came out, I remember when Left 4 Dead 1 came out, like how that made me feel. I was like, dude, that is a fucking great game. And then it was at a time like I think it was during October, so it was like perfect timing. And then Gears of War 2, I think, had just came out too, and I was like, dude, those are fucking excellent games. And you know, they actually brought a lot of good elements to the immersiveness of that, but now we're like starting to detract from it. So that's why all these developers are starting to go backwards to bring that back, and I appreciate it. And that's why, you know, after, you know, with one of Josh, right? I mean, he's doing like game design, and so that's kind of what we talked about, was like coming together. Maybe we can make a game, you know, like see, because now it's like accessible for people just to dive into like making games. And so it may be a all right game, but I mean, it's fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think on the opposite spectrum of that, if you don't mind, I do think the industry is flourishing not because of the games. I think it's very much like the streamer trickle, where early access is because every streamer wants to play it early. If not, they feel like they don't get those views, you know, like, and it sucks.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
It's one of those things, man. Like, there's so many eyes on the big streamers that, like, they're all battling for who can play it first, who gets the story out there fast. And unfortunately, I think the industry has noticed that, and they're like, well, why not make a few extra bucks, you know? And I think that's also another reason why we see that becoming more and more of a trend. And not that I'm like, oh, I need to play Silent Hill early because I need, you know, 10 viewers instead of 5, you know, like. But,
no, I mean, I wasn't trying to make fun of. I mean,
no,
like,
obviously not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think that is one of the reasons why it's happening as well, man. It's just everybody fighting for that little piece of land, you know.
yeah,
Right.
That is a good point that you brought up, and I'm glad you brought it up because that was actually a question I was going to ask you. Is, you know, kind of going down that is, so what made you want to be a streamer? I mean, I know you said you love games and you just love playing games. I mean, but what was that moment where you decided I'd like to present myself to people and show them what I'm doing? Like, what did you have a moment where it just kind of like clicked, or?
Yeah. There was like I was saying, like with depression and all that, man. It was during the pandemic. I had gotten like kind of sick, and depression started hitting, and I was just like, man, like I don't know like how to get out of this. And I was a huge Xbox fan, like, so I had like, you know, every day you can get like 5 or 10 points for getting a certain amount of achievements and stuff.
Right.
And you can use that to get like Xbox currency, blah blah blah. And they were doing this like random, like almost like a lottery ticket, like a digital lottery ticket, and I won like a $250 gift card. And I was like, oh, cool.
Wow.
You know, I was like, nice. And at the time on the Xbox store, they would sell laptops. And so I bought like one of the worst ones they had just to kind of connect the capture card to it. And I mostly just wanted to talk to people again, man. I had gotten so comfortable and not speaking with anyone, like not leaving my house, not doing anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, like I just want to like see if I just want to not feel weird, like I want to talk with people, and so I kind of just threw it out there, like, hey, I'm gonna stream, and obviously, you get your you go a long time streaming to nobody. You stream to one person, you stream to two people, and but it was something to make me feel comfortable again, and
So I guess this kind of answers. I guess you're kind of answering this question I've been wanting to ask. So like when you turn on the camera and you get on and you start streaming, I guess I mean, so it's like, are you on to talk? Are you on to like have fun with the game you're playing? What's the sort of mentality when you get on and you start streaming? Because I've tried streaming on and off several times, and if I don't get like one or two viewers within 5 minutes, I get off. And then I realize that's vanity. So I need to fix that, but I don't know. So what's your goal like when you turn on the camera?
It's mostly I actually get a lot of shit because I intend to play a game, and I'll just talk. Like I'll just like, hey, of course now I've been doing it for almost like 3.5 years now.
Wow.
So I have like the 3 or 4 people that come in every night when I start, and you just kind of greet them. You see how your day's been going. Man, it's like I adorn it to like the way people talk about Animal Crossing. You just go check in on your village, man. Like you just you just go see what people are up to. You say hi, and if anyone cares that I'm gonna play Visage tonight, like y'all are more than welcome to sit back and watch me play this game horribly, But it's mostly just like it's like a small community, man. If someone comes in, I try to greet people individually. I try to like make a little jingle for them or something, to make them feel like you're not just a name or a number on my subscriber list. You are a person that I care about genuinely. And
I love that.
Again, that goes back to me hearkening to like I needed someone to talk to. I wasn't doing this for viewers or to show off how badass I was at 360 no scopes. It was I want people to talk to. I want to, and it was just fast forwarded because of the pandemic. But yeah, I think my goal is just to talk to people, to have a comfortable place to talk shit about each other and have fun. And,
I love it.
See what's going on. Yeah, but I mean, the games are always second nature, man. The games are background noise to the community and the talking piece. Like
the games that you play. Do you decide that? Do you let your community decide that? Is it kind of like, oh, I know the people are gonna like this?
Oh, I'm very like, this is what I'm going to do today. Like I've seen streamers do like hey community, do you want to pick my game? And they pick something that like no one wants to see, no one wants to play.
Yeah.
And then they feel like obligated to play it. I want to be happy while I'm playing. Like I'll stop a game mid game and be like, dude, I'm not feeling this. And it's kind of like the thing you're not supposed to do as a streamer, but if you don't take it too serious, who gives a shit? Like like hey, we're all here. I'm not feeling this, so why am I gonna like play this 40-hour game? Like.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it is just I like to get community like hey, like maybe you've never heard of this game, and I'll be like, all right, cool, that does look cool, but I'm never gonna like put myself in a position where let's take a vote and I'm just going to play that definitively.
I like that.
I feel like
you do have to enjoy it.
Yeah.
What you mentioned, I want to make a note that is kind of a beautiful thing that you stated, where the reason why you got into it is because not just because COVID, but like the whole concept of wanting to connect with people. And not a lot of people take a time to really appreciate that aspect of it, because a lot of people are just like, no, I just want to join the bandwagon train and play games, and then with no really clear objective, they're just trying to hop on a train, right? I mean, when all the things that we do and that we have passions on are coming from a place of emotion that kind of make us feel a certain way. So like, you play you play music and you love basketball and all that stuff. I mean, that comes from somewhere because it resonated with you, and that whole topic itself. And when it's crazy just to see, to reflect on like how COVID was, because it just feels like it all happened like so quick.
It was
and
fast, yeah.
Yeah.
dude. And I can't say because I didn't really stay at home. I was fortunate enough to be in the office still where I was working. They forced us to keep working, but that part is what I like. I mean, because I've always thought about remote work, right? Like, oh, how all these people doing remote work, but I'm like, I would probably fucking go crazy because I need to like talk to people physically. And that was one of my biggest things, like, talking to people physically. And that's why I kind of relate with you. And I like what you said, because that is a really big factor on what a lot of people really want. And then a lot of other people felt that way too, is like they wanted to connect with people and find ways to do that. And that's why the retro gaming industry popped up, or it's boosted, because they wanted to go and reflect on their childhoods. And also the streaming platforms like really boosted. So that's really awesome, man. Like I like that you were able to share that part of it, because a lot of people just think it's just because I like playing games, but no, there's another factor to it as well.
And it's still one of the foundations of the stream. Like I hate, and maybe this is pulling back the curtain too much, but like I hate when I'm done with stream and I raid out to someone. And I usually like to raid out to someone that has, just a few viewers, because I know what it's like, and I want to maybe feature someone that should be getting attention that's not, And you do that, and then they're just playing their game. And it's like, damn, like, they're not acknowledging anything, and it's like, it's like, and there's millionaire streamers that do the same thing, like they're just sitting there playing their game. People are donating them money left and right, and it's like, they're just a number to them, and I'm like, damn, like I never want to get to that point, and I almost fear, like, if I ever got big, because I want to individually tell y'all how y'all doing, how's your day been, like, I hate when I miss chat, they'll call me out on it, and I'm like, damn, dude, my laptop screen is this big, dude, like, cut me a break, like, yeah, the personality and the human to human connection, I think, goes a long way, man. Like, and you don't even have to be like this weird introvert or anything. Like, you could just be like, just needing someone to talk to, someone to relate about Silent Hill, someone to relate about, old video games and the heyday, But it's always fun, man. Like,
yeah,
try not to pay attention to the numbers, and you'll have a good time.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that mentality.
Some of my favorite streamers, like whenever I watch them and I comment on their things, just being brutally honest, like I would hope that they recognize me and be like, hey, oh, thanks for the comment, or yeah, let me answer your question. And so I agree with that, like that. I appreciate it, actually. I appreciate like how you look at it, because making everybody feel like they're seen, and that's a big part of it, because that's your personality. People love that. They love that they can talk to you and feel like they wouldn't have to be like scared of saying something, because obviously, if the things that you talk about, the things that you do, so like if you cut a game midway, people are just gonna be like, oh, that's just TheLeaveEnding doing his thing. I mean, that's why that's why we're here. We're just, this is like a fucking fireside chat, just chilling out, and but I noticed I want to get to your goals. Like, so let's keep this in mind. There's a goals factor I want to ask you, and then, but I noticed on your channel, because I didn't want to forget this, but you're at 600 followers right now, I think, on Twitch.
I have no clue. I try not to pay attention.
Oh, well,
that's
okay.
actually kind of cool. I like that.
I think
answer.
that's what I saw.
I shit you not. I actually kind of like that answer.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
I think I had a 400 follower like stream, and that was the last time I paid attention. Like.
Yeah,
so I like that.
I don't. Well, yeah,
I don't mind you bringing up the number. By the way, I don't want it to be like a weird thing. But
no, I
how
totally,
dare you?
I totally respect where you're coming from, but
I don't want to hear it.
He's all.
Okay. No, I appreciate the humbleness, but like I'm just more coming from, because you said that you were at a point where, when you first started, you had zero traction, right? Like you would have one or two people, or they would leave, right? So now that you have, like, obviously you're gaining a little bit of traction, and what I was going to ask is like what are do you have any goals on like how do you see yourself doing this for the long run, or are you just kind of doing it as a fun thing, or maybe like how do you look at it right now, like I guess to progress forward?
Yeah. I think everybody, like, I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to do this full time and have it to where I can, go buy groceries with it. That I'd be full of shit if I said that wasn't a goal.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, man, I've seen a lot of growth over the last year, and when I say a lot, it's a lot to me because the prior 2 years, it was the same dance every night. Family and friends would be in there, and you catch up for your 10 minutes, and then they leave, and it's just you talking to a screen.
Mm-hmm.
And those nights are kind of difficult, because you want to do this, but I think a lot of people fixate on that. Like you think you're not talking to anyone but yourself, and it gets tough. But over the last year or so, I'd say I've made friends with people that aren't family, aren't personal relatives or anything. And I think that's the goal, man, just to continue doing that. Even at the same rate, I don't want to become an overnight sensation. I don't even know what that means, man. I fear that. I think my goal, is if I can make a few bucks to say, hey, I went out to eat, twice this week. That's cool, but the money's never been the main objective, man. I think having a place where people my age can come around and just chat and say what's up and talk and not feel like the old people,
It looks like we got people in the live stream.
Yeah,
Baby and Necroy. Hello.
Baby, I'm guessing is Void.
I have no clue
I don't know.
how to see that.
Baby.
It's just we're getting notifications. What's up, y'all?
Who are you?
Okay. I don't see that.
Yeah.
You got your fans, Leaf. You got your fans
Okay.
here.
Hello. Welcome.
Yeah. What's
Baby mama.
what's interesting is that there's this big problem with instant gratification nowadays, where people want things to happen just super quick, right? And then so they like that overnight sensation, right? That's what you're talking about. But what people miss, you mentioned just talking to nobody for a good, sometimes you're just talking to nobody, and people think of that as man, I'm not doing good, but
Right.
they fail to use that as a lesson, well, not just a lesson for that, but as a skill improvement, because some people that are very nervous to talk in front of people, and then when they first start, they're not going to be the best speech person of everything. But when at the times whenever you're talking to yourself, and nobody's there, that's you practicing your speech skills, and in that way, and the next time people do come in, you feel more comfortable as it comes. So people look at it and if they steer their direction towards looking at it that way, then I think they would be more okay with it. But people miss that. I think that's a thing that's missed a lot. But and also with being an overnight sensation, I wouldn't say that would be a bad thing, right? But let me explain a little bit more. It's in order for you to be an overnight sensation would be because there's a reason why you are an overnight sensation. It's not because, oh, my name is this and now I'm a famous person like Mr. Beast or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. They got there after, and Mr. Beast talks about this too. He talks about how long it took him to get to where he was at, and this is kind of a common success story, is that it just takes a lot of drive and effort and consistency. Consistency is the key, and you just kind of explain that as over the course of a year or 2 years, you've grown quite a bit because you've been consistent with doing your streams, and that just shows that the proof that is there, of you getting where you want to get. But the reason why I brought up the followers, because I see you growing now, and it's kind of cool seeing you get more attention, because I love the shit that you do. And even though you go on really late, so I don't really get to catch stuff most of the time, but I do like popping in, because for the one thing that I can tell you that I really like was that you acknowledge me and you talk to me and you're like, hey, Guitar Bike for Tuesday, and I'm like, yeah, what's up in this chat? It makes me more engaged to want to actually talk with everybody, and besides the fact that I actually know most of the people in there, but I mean, even the games that you play, like Ape War, I saw you play Ape War, and that was a pretty fun experience. I was telling Mike about it. We gotta freaking get on that. But
I saw that. I'm like, what is going on here? But hey, it's fun. It's a good time.
Yeah,
you know,
I
it's a
told him, I was
recipe
like,
for a
take
good
it with a
time.
grain of salt. It's not the fucking next AAA game. It's just like
Yeah.
a fucking straight up fun game to play. Like it's
Yeah.
made
The
by.
way you described it to me, I was expecting like a Planet of the Apes, like Call of Duty, 360 no scope. But no. But anyway,
Oh, you can
it
get some
looks like a
nasty
good.
no scopes. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted.
It looks like it could get toxic.
You can get nasty on that game.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to make a note of that for you. Like I love that what you do with your streams is like you bring that kind of personality to that, and that's some of the things that I really look for in like streamers. And so you're doing a good thing, and I hope you wouldn't like you're saying, like wouldn't want to be detracted by the vote of somebody to get you to do something you don't want to do. So that's a good way to look at it, is like just be you. Like just that's all you gotta do is be you.
I feel like a lot of people, like, I like to involve the community, but I like to involve the community where they're not taking over the entire show, or the entire stream. Like,
Right.
take these crumbs that I give you, like,
Yeah.
have fun with the crumbs, let's make the crumbs a big deal. But, yeah, I appreciate that, man. It's been a long journey, and I don't know how long I do this for, like, I don't know if I'm going to be 60 still doing this, but I don't see myself doing much of anything else, so maybe
Yeah.
I am, like...
Dude, did you see the Skyrim grandma? She finally
Yeah.
decided she was gonna retire,
Dude, she finally
Oh my
took a step
God.
down.
So there is
Oh
no
my
fucking age limit on this thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the hard part is not feeling weird about promoting yourself. Like, I'm really bad at like making the TikToks, tweeting out the stuff. Like, I like to set up camp, and if anybody gives a shit, come on over.
Yeah.
And that's the worst way of looking at it. Like, you don't put on a concert without putting out some flyers first.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and essentially when you stream, that's what you're doing. And I don't like putting out the flyers, man. So.
yeah.
But yeah, it's been a fun time, but it's difficult, man.
Yeah.
When you care about it, it's difficult.
Well,
we got a question here from the chat.
Yeah.
Necroy, ask him how the foot finder is going.
Oh,
Explain yourself, Leave.
I'm looking for. Hold on, let me see if I just exit out the chat thing and if I bring it back up. Yeah,
There's
mine's
a-
not loading.
It says people and it says chat and then chat.
Yeah, it says 10 chats, but like mine's just not loading. The Feet
man.
Finder. If Twinvora will ever send me the pictures. So yeah, Feet Finder is it's kind of a joke. Someone had seen my feet and they were like, you have pretty nice feet. The most awkward comment ever.
oh
right?
man.
The most awkward comment ever. And I was like, you know what? I need to buy some video games tomorrow. If anybody wants to pay me to see my feet. Complete joke, right? So on stream, I decided to do like hey, if anyone wants to pay like the $20 to help me create a foot finder.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh shit! Okay, nice.
You can
You know,
post
that-
it. That's nice.
Dang, look at all.
That's actually pretty sick.
Put 'em
Necroy,
on-
you're on the hot seat, man.
Blast.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You
so
sick fuck.
we
No,
we
okay.
funded the money in like 10 minutes. Created
Wow.
the account. Yeah, created the account. Made like a introduction to it and never posted anything.
Whoa.
But it exists. If you
So
if you're out there.
clearly, they're still waiting on that.
Oh, it exists. It definitely exists.
Dude, that's
There you
crazy.
go. You heard it here first. It exists.
It exists.
Oh man.
Maybe a
It
Halloween
exists.
theme coming around. So you know what? If
There
y'all
you
ever
go.
want to calibrate with my side of the journey, dude, yeah, let's do it. Dude.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm
Fuck
down.
yeah. Fuck yeah.
So
Fuck yeah.
So I know we'll try to keep this between under 2 hours. Like I mean that's kind of what we're shooting for is and I know we're at let's see, we got about 18 minutes left. But there are actually a couple more questions I wanted to ask you. Is
Okay.
so we were talking about your growth through your journey so far. Would you be able to say that you had any like personal achievements to start? We'll start with personal achievements. Like was there ever a time when you were like, man, this was like a pivotal moment where I realized that, man, I'm doing something good? Or like, can you explain maybe if there are any of those things?
Yeah, I think a personal achievement, like to me personally, like to this, like to this day, is just when people are like, hey, like I'm sub to you, I hear about you every day, like I go on there and I talk about myself, I let you know what's going on when I'm not streaming, and people would just be like, here's $5, like just do whatever you want with it, and that's not a big personal achievement, but it lets you know that like someone out there is thinking about you while you're not streaming, and that's really all that that matters to me, like that's really
awesome.
like the goal is. Again, man, I'm not thinking about it from a checkbook standpoint. I'm thinking about it from a friendship. If I go on there and I'm like, oh yeah, man, like Silent Hill 2 comes out next week and I'm kind of broke, and someone says, hey, here's $20, to help you out and get it. That's someone that's thinking about you. That's a friend. That's not a viewer anymore.
Dude, I can't tell you how impressed I was when Mike was like, how many followers do you have? And you're like, I don't know. I don't know if you realize, like, I was so impressed by the answer. It's like, in the end, who cares? So this is a personal experience,
Yeah. I mean,
I love hearing that.
I don't ever, like, I try not to compare myself to anyone, like, people will be like, why are they popular? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, they do their shit, I do mine. Like, I don't know, like, I'm not the type of streamer that's going to get a 25-year-old or 10-year-old demographic. I am very much catered to some old people that are just
the little kids at Chuck E. Cheese. Hey, it's the leave ending.
Yeah,
Mom, let me the phone.
That's the guy that hates Five Nights. Like, let's put him on.
Oh my god. Mommy, what are these pictures of feet?
Right. Why do they look so good?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh no.
No.
I think personal goals, like for instance, like Sundays, the Silent Hill 2 stream. I think personal goals is just having people come in and just seeing what's up, man. Like that's really all it is. Just building friends left and right when I can. I don't ever have like an end goal, or like I don't move the goalpost every time I hit a certain number. Like it's genuinely just. When I go live, will someone say, "Hey, how's your day?" That's my goal, man.
I looked through a lot of your old streams. Some of these go on for hours, like 7-8 hours. Like you put in the work. Like that's working. You put in the fucking work. I like I said, I've tried multiple times to stream by way of Twitch, and I remember when they first announced like the trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm like, you know what? Here until then, I'm going to replay the entire series. And I was literally starting Assassin's Creed, and then I had done like the first 3 hours, and then I looked back and I saw that no one tuned in, and I just stopped right there. I'm like, fuck this. I wanted that. It's like what Mike was saying. I wanted that instant gratification. And me with my ADHD fucking head, I didn't get any dopamine rush. I didn't get any sense of reward. I'm like, I'm a failure. I'm just going to stop. And now I realize, no, I should have kept going. And especially if you enjoy the game, keep doing it. Don't compromise who you are, what you are, your values, just because you didn't get that immediate gratification. And just looking at, in researching for this interview, looking at your stuff, like you're an inspiration. That's great. And like I said, that answer to Mike's question, like, I don't know how many followers I have, but I'm keeping it personal. I just want to know how this is educational. I love it.
That's amazing. And then to fast forward just real quick, I've seen a lot of people that they have that immediate, like, you're gonna hit affiliate, you get 200 followers, but they're playing things that people love. Like they're playing Resident Evil, they're playing Silent Hill, and then they start playing the things that they want to play, and then those people vanish.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh well, what happened? And it's like, well, I mean, you were playing these adored franchises that have millions of followers, and they're still pretty niche, so. And then they lose that following, and it's like, dude, you just have to keep on, man. Like, you have to understand. Some days, I'll have 40 viewers out of nowhere, and I'm like, holy shit, But that's never. I'm never sitting there and like, okay, well, what game was I playing that day? Because I need to play part 2 tomorrow to keep this up. I'll never do that, Like,
I love that. I love that.
That's another opposite end of the spectrum that exists that a lot of people don't think about, Like.
I need to hear that, and this is all the podcast. I think the people who see this and they have personal goals, personal ventures, they need to hear that. Don't give up. Stay true to you. I love.
Yeah, because I relate with you, right, Mike? Because that whole ADHD aspect, right? Like we both kind of share that factor where it's a fucking demon, right? But at the same time, it's a very good. What's that saying? It's like a not a privilege. It's It's a blessing. There you go. It's a blessing.
It's a
It's a cursed
blessing,
blessing. That's what it is. That's the way I look at it. It's a cursed blessing because like it could really break you down and like get you to think because like that instant gratification. There are a lot of times where I get caught up in that. You know, if somebody doesn't like something that I do, I'm like, fuck, I'm just doing something bad, right? And then it's like, no, no, no. I got to realize like, fucking stop thinking so much and just like fucking do it. Like just have fun doing what you're doing, and the people will come. Like that's just what it is, and that's with anything, right? And the fact that you explained all of your things, that's a side of you that I didn't really know of, and I'm kind of glad that you shed on that because it makes me appreciate that a lot of what I didn't know about you, and so now that kind of makes me want to like rethink a lot of the things how I do things, and because you're making a good point. Like, don't play everything that people are wanting you to play. Just do you, right?
Yeah.
And so that is a good that is a very good lesson. And
it probably does benefit some people. Maybe I'm just not seeing the fruits of the labor because it's me. Who knows? But I've seen it from my perspective, and that's how it works for me. Like.
I mean, it kind of speaks volumes. It's like you said, like you like Shenmue, you like Silent Hill because there's you didn't use the word substance, but what I took from it is you like substance. You like the, the genuineness, if you will. And so, what I'm getting from you, this entire thing, is just the genuineness here. You don't need fancy. You don't need to be a shill for like what's cool, what's in vogue. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm marching to the beat of my own drum.
Yeah,
I invite you all to follow.
Don't be afraid to be like a little bit clunky. Don't be afraid to be a little bit rough, man. Like. You listen to music, and sometimes it's overproduced, and it takes away the soul. Same thing with streaming, man. Like, you want to be a little bit goofy, you want to have some flaws because people can relate to that. We're not perfect.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, and that kind of touches on one of the other questions I wanted to ask you is, so would you have any advice for like people who are looking to become streamers, and would you just have any advice in general for people that want to do that? And I know you kind of touched on a lot of that, so it's probably going to almost sound the same, but I wanted to just throw that out there. Like, what would you tell somebody that came up and said, well, I want to get into this, and how?
Yeah. Not caring about how fast it happens, I think, is probably one of the biggest things to like not worry about. The way Twitch works, man, is you hit affiliate after 50 followers and 3 concurrent viewers. That's going to happen organically pretty quickly. With consistency, I know Mike was saying that he came back and, after 3 hours, he kind of stopped. But do that 3 hours tomorrow. Do that 3 hours Friday. Do that 3 hours Saturday. And eventually someone's going to come in. And maybe that someone has a friend. And maybe that someone is someone else's friend, Come into my Discord and be like, hey, I'm streaming right now. And, a person or two might hop in. Once you hit affiliate, man, you don't go another tier until you have 75 concurrent viewers. Jesus. Which, unless you're a big dog, you're probably not going to get that. So do your streaming thing, care about affiliate as much as you want. Once you hit that, man, just be you. Because I'm sorry, but it's going to be a lot to hit the next tier. It's either going to be you've gone viral on TikTok, the biggest streamers in the world are rating you every day, or you're just genuinely really good at this. But if you're going to start streaming, care about it enough to where you make it personal, you make it your own, you build your small community, and don't really worry about it any other way, man. Like, I'm never sitting there like, for instance, I've seen some growth lately, and the one number I do look at is average viewers over the last month. Right. And I've seen it go from 9 to 12 to 14 to 17, and it's because I talk to new people every once in a while. I raid out to new people. Like I said, I raid out to people who have 3 viewers because maybe they're just as fun and they just don't have the people yet, and they'll come in and be like, hey, thanks for the raid the other day. That meant a lot to me. You were the first person to ever rate me. And I'm like, oh, that's badass. Cool. Like, it was nice meeting you. And from then on, man, they might not come every day, but they'll come in every month and be like, hey, how's it been? And that's just one of those people you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember, like, I was the first person to rate them, like, or they'll make that comment again. Maybe I don't remember their name because I meet a ton of names every night, you know. But it's little things like that, man. Just create your little core personality, stick with it, and just keep on. And even if you don't hit affiliate, which I've never met anyone who wants to stream that doesn't hit affiliate. It might take some people 2 weeks. It might take some people 2 months, but you'll hit it eventually. Play something out of the norm. Don't stick with Call of Duty because there's a bajillion people playing Call of Duty every day, and you're not. No one's gonna probably tune into you. Play something that you want to do. Play something that makes you happy, and eventually someone will notice, man. Eventually, you know, like.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I love that advice. Let me see.
Sorry, my answers are so long.
Dude, no, that is
it's
like
genuine.
perfect.
It's genuine. It's real.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that it's better than just being like, yeah,
Yes.
no. I was all thinking, I was like,
yes.
I was like, man, I'm about to come up with some open-ended questions so that we can like, prolong it. But dude, this was like a natural interview, dude. I mean, or like a natural conversation. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I've worked phone jobs and all that to where like you have to extend conversations and make them completely understand. So I think at a certain point you kind of get used to it, you know.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man. Yeah, that's. I think that's all the questions that I had. We'll open up to the chat if there's it looks like there's 5 people right now. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and post it in the chat and we can bring it up. But I guess start wrapping it up. That was a pretty good note to end on, dude. That was like a really good. This is gonna be a really good episode.
It was nice meeting you
as well, man.
Yeah, man, it's nice meeting you, man. Yeah. No.
Yes,
Are you in the same town as? You're in the same town as us, right? Right, Mike? Or is that
talking about CC?
Yeah. I think we're
the
talking
good
about
old CC.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Okay, so all right. So we're close. We're close. All right.
Yeah. One of the things that
we could share a taco or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's gonna happen from here is we're gonna upload the episode because we got our new one coming out Friday, right? And that's gonna be our first video episode. I think probably what we can do is we'll probably talk offline on this, but about the release of this one. Because we usually do it every 2 weeks. But we could probably release it next week because it's a special type thing, or we're doing, something not that we usually do. And one of the questions I wanted to ask, I guess this is more for both of y'all too. I mean, because you're a streamer, you stream a lot, and then Mike, I think this was a good idea, but should we stream to like YouTube as well, or even Twitch, like maybe next time? That way, all the audiences can come in and on the platform that we all share, and that's just a thought. I mean, I don't know.
Sorry, I didn't really understand the question. Are you asking?
It was a pretty bad question for me.
You are the first person we've interviewed for this podcast, and so we've been shopping around with different forums, and we like this one because of a lot of the stuff you can do in post production. But we saw that there's also venues where you can do it live with an audience, and maybe even stream directly to Twitch. And it seems like there's a lot of cool stuff on that, but we're just so unfamiliar with Twitch. So I don't know if that's something you would recommend. Do you think live streaming is, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Because people say that Twitch is a beast. Twitch is a beast of its own. Like when you start going on there and streaming, compared to like YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think as many people as you can get your eyes that you can get eyes on, you do it, man. If you can do it to Twitch, if you can do it to YouTube, why not?
Because I mean, it's like worst case scenario, you can just save the recording and upload it to like YouTube and all these other places, right? Yeah, because it automatically saves onto your device, if I'm not mistaken. The one or two times I've streamed,
Yeah, now your Twitch stream is going to be a little bit more raw, like what we're doing right now. But as long as you're comfortable doing that, I would say as many eyes as you can get on you, why not? Like, why segregate yourself to just what is it, Riverside that we're using right now, and not open yourself to the random person who can come in? Like,
I've seen it. There's like a miscellaneous section, or there's like a podcast section, and obviously I'm a gamer. I go to the gaming stuff. So, but I do know that there is a category for podcasters.
Dude, yeah, there's podcasts, there's just chatting, and honestly, those categories have the most viewers.
Damn.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just chatting. I've seen that one. It's like IRL, right? IRL.
Yeah, you can
There
just
you
do
go.
chatting and then use podcasts as a notation that, hey, this is what we're doing right now. And
Yeah.
yeah, man, I would definitely, if you can find a way of doing it, do multicasting, stream to YouTube, Twitch, and here at the same time. If you
Yeah.
got the if you got the GPU power, you know.
Shit, that's yeah, I know, right?
Oh, Mike's got it. I'm just on my
alright.
I'm on my MSI laptop right now.
Yeah, he's got the rig.
Well, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dude.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah, we might consider doing that because it seems like better when it's on a like a real time basis, so that more people can come in and out instead of having to provide links. But we'll play it out. I think this was a good first interview, and I'm glad that we were able to pick do it with you, man. I mean, it was, dude. It was like, I can't tell you enough how awesome it was.
hey man, I had a good time, man, and it was. I'm glad I was able to do it.
Dude, we went
Yeah.
deep. Like we
I
actually
know,
went
right?
deep in some stuff.
Yeah, we could probably go deeper too, but I was like, dude, I don't want to take over this. So, but yeah, I felt like we flowed off each other pretty well, man. And it was like, hey, for being the first time, that's
Yeah.
not bad, dude. That's
Yeah,
not
for
bad.
sure. Yeah, maybe we
Congrats to
could.
all, by the way, as well, man.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Well, hope you enjoy. Oh, you just explained that you enjoyed it, but yeah, man, we'd look to maybe play a game soon. Maybe we can hop in a lobby or whatever. I don't care. Whatever game we have, we're very flexible on that. But
Super.
but yeah, do you have any like closing? Maybe any questions for us? I know we grilled you with a lot of questions, but
I know you said you wanted to keep it under 2 hours, so I'm kind of like I'm looking at the clock for y'all. But,
okay, we'll give it a couple more seconds.
Yeah,
That's fine.
and
Okay.
based on the Croy, it looks like there's no questions from the panel. So if you whatever you guys want to do now.
It's all good, man. So I'll swing it the other way, man. What are your goals for this?
You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Go for it, Mike.
Um, so what it started off with, we'll make this very quick, short. But the way we came into this is that, so Mike had a YouTube channel, I had a business, right? Well, I have my Pixels business. I think I told you about that, right? And so Pixels business is still there. It's just that the reselling aspect of it is a kind of a gray area right now for me. So when Mike started talking about like, hey, let's do the podcast, so we did it coming from those two sides, like two entities coming together to do a podcast, which now thinking about it is like, we're nobody. Like, I can understand if we had already been established businesses and then doing that and enjoying it and be like, okay, this is a podcast, but like we're pretty much like nobody right now. And so we just decided like, hey, let's just do a partnership and focus straight on this digital quest, and like bring this podcast now into video, because we were doing audio for the longest time. And I think this video is hopefully going to be a good thing, because I was watching our video that we did Saturday. It's a little cringy, I mean, but whatever, it's our first one. We'll put it out and you're going to fucking laugh your ass off. But our goals is basically to bring something of value to people that, our big three core things that we were focusing on was, okay, video games, pop culture, comics or movies, and then also personal development. Well, we eliminated the last two because those are more of like already instilled in our video game nature of what we talk about. And so like what you're talking about, like how you see like the streaming aspect of how that opened you up to want to talk to people and like be like around people, and that personal development part is like what we are trying to get out of our podcast. Like we want to bring something of value like that to people, to where not just we're covering news or we're covering the hottest games. Like we're going to steer towards indie developers, which I feel like they're putting a lot of efforts to make these games like from a place of emotion, and like we want to shine the light on those guys. And that's why I feel like not a lot of people are doing nowadays. At least in the media, right? Like in top tier media, like they're just focusing on AAA gaming. And so that's one of our goals, is like to really bring these people out and show them that they actually exist and create that kind of connection with people. And while at the same time we're having fun doing what we do, like what we're doing now, we're talking about video games. Like I fucking love talking about video games, even though I might not know the most lore-filled story like on games. That's why I got this guy over here, Mike, to help me out with that. But I mean, it's just something I like doing. Like I just like love talking about video games, dude. And so that would be my core thing, like of my goal that I look to expect out of this. But do you have anything to add on that, Mike?
No, I mean, well, it's kind of like you leave ending, where it's like you're kind of doing it for the fun of it and for the interpersonal aspect. I met Mike, shit. I mean, it must be we're coming up on a year now, believe it or not, and
wow.
I
Oh, that's
immediately.
fast.
I
Dude,
know,
I'm
right?
telling you, no. Well, here's the thing. I like, ADHD minds. We find each other. No,
Yeah.
but no, like I would talk about video games. He would talk. He would talk about it. I'm talking about Hideo Kojima. He knows who Hideo Kojima is. I'm like, hmm. We're talking.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Yoko Taro. He knows who Yoko Taro is. You speak one language. So
Yeah.
all this shit that we're doing right now is like we're gonna do that anyway. But here's the thing. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people on here, like you included, and the people listening here, who vibe with us, who would want to engage in this sort of conversation. So let's do the conversation we were going to have anyway. Let's probably do it on a bi-weekly consistent basis, and let's put some cameras and microphones in front of us. So I'm having fun doing this, but I also want to, make this a platform, if you will, for like underdogs and people who want to grow out their ideas. Like Mike said, that we talked about comics and movies, but we also talked about, business, our business ventures, my YouTube channel, his whatnot, which is still ongoing. We decided, so even though we're cutting those as like topics, we're still absorbing them into the framework of gaming. So we want to use our platform to give indie devs and streamers an opportunity to showcase themselves and tell us their story and the stuff that they don't put out otherwise, unless we bring them on here. And that is educational to the viewers, it's educational to me, and I think, it's advertisement, right? So I think we all mutually gain from showing our human side,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Substance. To boil it all into one word, substance. I want
Yeah.
substance.
Yeah, like we had that one guy that left us a comment on one of our YouTube videos. He was like, "Dude, y'all are awesome. I love your content." And I'm like, I love that shit. Like I like when people really vibe with what we're talking about, and like it really affects them. And my biggest thing is I've always wanted to help people in some sort of way. Like I just, that's one of my things. Like I just always wanted to feel like I can reach somebody and bring them up, because I know a lot of people that are afraid to really want to come out. And so like if I can be that vessel to make them feel a certain way, and that they feel appreciated and know that we're talking about them, then that would be one of my main goals. It's like, so
Same, man. That's why, like, every weekend lately, I've been like, hey, let's just get together and hang out, because too many of us are afraid to speak in person.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
Just a
it's
bunch of
okay to have
introverts.
friends, man. Like, let's just chill and talk movies and
Yeah.
whatever, Like, I love that, man.
yeah. Well, that's cool. Any other questions, or is that it? I mean, it's fine.
No, I think at the end, man, I just want to say thanks for having me. And
Yeah, man.
I had a lot of fun, man. I was kind of nervous because I also kind of went back and watched somebody else's stuff, and I'm like, damn, I don't know shit about comics or anime. Like, I was like, they gonna ask me, what do you think about the new One Piece? I'm gonna be like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to. But
Tell us
yeah,
about the end of Evangelion. Go.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know if I'm the right person for this, but I appreciate you kind of catering the questions, maybe to
Yeah.
make them a little bit more sufficient to my understanding. But hell yeah, man, I had a good time.
Cool, man.
No, appreciate having you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
real.
All right. Well, hopefully we can catch you on another time, but if not, then that's it, everybody. We're gonna be closing it now, and we will see you next time. All right. Take it
Later,
easy, man.
Bye.
Yeah.